me a break. Humidity alone deserves it. It's time I finally got what I'm owed. Give me a break. I'm staring at the exit. Get out of my way. Clear this pothole-ridden road. I want a quiet ending. I'm done with the poem pretending. Won't let the brownouts get the best of me. No, 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 no. Give me a break. This life is just survival. Give me a break. And time my departure. Give me a break. For heaven's sake. Who the hell ain't in my piece of the game? Give me a break. Give me a break. Oh, just give me a break. Give me a break. Hey, I said give me a break. Give me a break. The humidity alone deserves it. It's time I finally got what I'm owed. Give me a break. I'm staring at the exit. Get out of my way. Clear this pothole-ridden road. I want a quiet ending. I'm done with the poem pretending. Won't let the brownouts get the best of me. No, 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 no. Give me a break. This life is just survival. Give me a break. And time my departure. Give me a break. For heaven's sake. Who the hell ain't my piece of the cake? Give me a break. Give me a break. Oh, just give me a break. Give me a break. Hey, I said give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? I can actually see beignet or jelly bean. She's got several names, but beignet and jelly bean. What is going on? Yeah, I'm not sure. Boomer, I didn't think you would make C into longer. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Let's see. It is Sunday. I decided to do a live stream. It's Mother's Day here in the Philippines. Happy Mother's Day to me. As you can see, I've got my bucket of flowers here. George had picked those up. And they're pretty. They're sunflowers. It's one of my favorites. I was like, wow, that's so cool. They're huge. So there is no vase. Like the bottom of them are huge. So we had to put it into a classy vase here, which is an old dog food bucket. So our Philippine journey is in the house. Raymond, good morning. Good early morning. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I mean, it's been working doing it at 7. So whether I think for a long time we did it at 9 a.m. And we just realized when it's a matchup time in the U.S., it's 9 o'clock at night. So we had went to 8 when there was a time change, and I'm like, if I'm doing most of these by myself, I'm already up, and I know people are ready to go at 7. So change that time frame for sure. And good morning to Mike and Arlene. A big shout out to their channel. Besides it just being Mother's Day, ranting, responding, the title is pretty much what it is. It is amazing the last 90 days, the stupidity, the audacity, the, oh, you picked on other channels so you get what you deserve, down to that freaking bite. And I'm like, wow, there's not one thing I said that warranted any of that. But of course, these people are so obsessed, they're going on other channels to actually like fight. Like when somebody says something, they're like fighting him, but the rage, like they were shouting racist things at the person. And these are those type of people. And those are the type of people that wouldn't support the average channel anyways, and definitely not me, being I'm opinionated. I'm going to keep saying what I want, doing what I want, and now that I'm on a day-to-day basis, I'm definitely going to do that. It's been a horrible 48 hours. I did make a purchase from funds for a portable oxygen. I only go to a few appointments a month, and the bank, and it's going to mostly be for around the house. Why? Because the oxygen's getting that bad. So I will wait for the room to build a little bit to like replay a video where I recorded it. But last night it got as low as I think 72, but stayed at 75. This is just dangerous. And so I've been having memory issues, extremely tired, the muscle fatigue. And initially, the doctor said, the pulmonary doctor, I've got like breathing treatments, I've got two different type inhalers. And then he said, stay on the oxygen for 16 hours. And, you know, those who understand oxygen would understand how that works. But of course, we got a lot of doctors, know it alls, and retirement specialists out there that go on like, hey, you're sitting up and doing lives, you're just hurting and killing yourself. Well, actually, I get a lot of adrenaline during these. It is a highlight for me, whether I'm arguing with somebody, whether I'm helping somebody, and just being here. It is. It's not easy to go through. Stage between pain, depression, knowing that you can die any day, and it's a real thing. The funny thing that gets probably the most to me is the doubt and the naysayers that are trying to convince people that this is all a scam and this is all a, it's like this has got to be the biggest ploy and scam there ever would be. So um it just doesn't make any sense. And like we had, and I'm gonna say the guy's an idiot. I left his comments there. He was going on that if I would have just had a better lifestyle, none of this would have happened. And I discussed before, just because I'm big and fat, this was not my entire life. And it doesn't mean that I would have avoided this. You can't put a label on every single thing. So now every time I say something, it's an excuse. When we do other topics, it's an excuse. We don't ever accept anything. Honestly, that's the first thing we did. I am a big fat girl that liked to eat. Where you put the label on me is I'll eat 3 pizzas or something. Hence, you cause it. I'm not giving you a dime, and she's a scammer. And it's like, you guys are so full of fucking shit, man. You know, making fun, saying it and everything, you're just causing views. But I still want to address it. So today, I'm just going to be talking about different things. But it's just, it's wild. Like down to the lupus and APS, the guy kept going on. And the moment that I started saying, hey, it doesn't matter, he changed to something else. Well, you should have took better medicines for your lupus. And I'm like, dude, you're just digging. And that's not true either. People are saying that the APS was caused from the lupus and the lupus caused that, and that these are all just because I didn't take care of myself. Lupus and APS are not because I ate the way I did. It could be, we've discussed this with the rheumatologist. It could have been environment when I lived up north in the 70s. Could have been all the lead paint. Could have been me eating those icicles. So there's your fucking excuses, you goddamn idiots. It could have been living in Florida forever or being in New York a certain period of time. Environment is part of it. But the fact that my daughter has it, and I've been talking, and I've been saying this for a few years. Yeah, I made that shit up in advance just to scam somebody out of $5. So the deal is that I'm scamming and been a criminal, always a criminal shit. And that the total of 9,000, 5,000 is directly with the heart specialist right now. I have no access. That's to go for those appointments only. And of course any recovery because they have like a cardiac rehab afterwards because the doctor told me the stents is possible but more than likely until they do the actual angiogram with the way that my level is right now at a SVL1 at an 11. I should have had a stroke by now. Why I'm alive, like the doctor actually said, you're still alive, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sure. Being big, I was sitting there like, fuck. I said this out loud when I was walking around. I said, my big ass caused my big ass. That's why my knees are buckling. I said, I wish I was 150 pounds. I get it. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot easier to get around, but that wouldn't change how I'm dying. It's not changing that because of my oxygen, like I can't even be off of it now. It's an absolute all the time thing now because every time that like I get up and I go to the bathroom because it was a stable unit, by the time I get back, it's dropped below 90. So this means every time I'm leaving, it's causing an issue. And it's just a hot mess. And so I'll be addressing that and just the stupid ass comments that lupus, sorry, I get where you guys are saying that the fibromyalgia seems to be made up. I have it. He already said that I did. That I get because over the years, where people, you'll say, okay, muscle aches, bone pain, you're just fat and all that. Well, I agree with you on that shit. My sister had it, so I watched her suffer from it. She is not big. So it's like, could it have been hereditary? Could it be the sugary diet that adds to it? Yes, it didn't cause it. But you have all these specialists out here that are just putting everything together. And then you got the rallying ones, the ones that are doing channels. So you just got your group of donkeys with you. And it's amazing. Like somebody went in there and they were like, hey, Heidi, or not Heidi. They were like, hey, how do you know this much about her or where are you getting all this stupid shit at? And he didn't say stupid shit. He was like, where'd you get it at? And the guy attacked right away. And I was like, dude, and this was on another channel. And I was like, they were like battling it out over me. And one person was defending, and the other guy called him, I'm just going to say it, he called him a Hispanic slang word. And I'm like, dude, based on his name. So it was just ridiculous. I'm like, that's the mindset. That's the mindset. So it's like, dude, all of this for what? For me faking, for me being a fat girl, for me, asking for support. And the most recent thing that blew my mind is one guy was like, and this is totally on a side note, he was like, I hope you get better. And he was legit. He's like, yeah, as soon as something goes wrong, and this is an older guy, as soon as something goes wrong, I'm going back to America and going in a nursing home. I was like, oh, dude, I thought I could make it back to America. But to go back and put yourself in a nursing home, he says, so I don't end up in an unmarked grave. And I don't know why he went that far because he's got a spouse here, I think. And it's like, no, it's not going to be an unmarked grave. It's not going to be that for me unless George decides to bail out, on the bill. I told him actually bail out. Leave me there is what I said. He's like, oh man. And so George at least plans to have a donut party for everybody. Who doesn't love donuts? So, in saying that, it's don't wait on that plan either. When Christmas was there, and you guys have seen the last few months before that, I was tired, and by midday, that had been going on for a year, but it was explained it was lupus. And it was like, so I've went with that because I've been tired, but could it have been the heart at the time? Yeah, there's a good possibility, but there were no other signs. No high blood pressure, no low blood pressure, nothing. So it just went out. So it's just amazing, guys. So, and here's another thing I thought about. George would be totally against it. I'm not. If idiots that are from the other channel want to cam up and think they've got to come back and want to try to throw me under the bus, because I know the first thing you're going to scream, you're going to go for me being fat, my past, and try to bring up shit from 20 something years ago or 25, it's irrelevant by far. One person shouted out on the other channel to turn me into Social Security because I'm getting the welfare side of it. So send her to jail, he said. I'm like, what the fuck? You wish me dead on the bite. You wish me dead on my heart issue. And the same person is saying this, right? And of course, I realize that trolls are trolls. Don't let them get to you. And they don't. I want to address it. I really do. I'm one of the opposite. I'm as crazy as a motherfucker. I'm going to address you because I get off like a rocket, man. And the other part of it is you ain't changing my style, and you're not giving money either. You're not participating except for just watching and being a peeper to see what I got to say. Now I'm aware that this is about 4 or 5 people. Why? Because they change their names, accounts, have multiple accounts, and it's at least the same 4 people on multiple accounts. Like they'll go into that one, Fred Flintstone channel, or they go in, there's another guy in America that's somewhere on I think it's the East Coast, was it West Coast? I think I think he's from Arizona. Like he specifically stated that, and like he's totally obsessed with me now. Everything is I lie, and it's like a full criticism, and it's like it's funny because we see the thumbnails. Why? Because they attach us to them. So we know when people are doing that, it's not it's like it's a whatever, but it's the same people. I'd probably say all in all, over and over again, it's probably like 12 different people, emails, other accounts. And when they do the same style, it's the same people. So don't make it like there's hundreds of people out there that hate me. It could be. It could be, but it's the same people that are obsessed. It's like that with a lot of channels. It's like that whether they're big or small or, whatever it is. But it doesn't change the facts that my health is getting progressively worse, and it's and the fact they would change that because I mentioned that I'm not going to get the money, that was their pinpoint for scamming. It's like, no, I'm a realist. Coming up with 60,000 minimally to start this ball is just not going to happen. I've got maybe, and from the beginning, one day, which I've passed, I think, close to 90, up to maybe a year, when the stroke volume 11, SVL1 is that low. That's it. I've got a third of the blood pumping through my body correctly. By 12 o'clock, I can barely move and I'm twice my size. I'm in extreme pain. I'm putting stress on my body. And the know it alls are saying it's because I'm fat. It doesn't help. But if I was 100 pounds, it would be the same thing. I'm 55 years old. So I'm a realist. The money that's coming in that goes into the account, whether it's stickers, whether it's the watching the YouTube, it all goes in there. It's now paid for things like the hospital bed, which was an absolute necessity. It paid for the current, had to replace the oxygen machine. This is a hospital grade one. And it's one of those 96.3 situations, the first couple levels. It starts out at a 93 or 93 or 94, but I'd have to look at the manual. But that, and now I've got to get a portable. That's 400. We're looking at 21,000 pesos. Why? Because I have to have it all the time. I can't just sit in bed either. So it is going to be used for current treatment and saving for the surgery. So it's just where it is. I'm a realist that the chance of that happening, the money, just like Brian said, whether she spends it on donuts or medical, or that she spends it on different medical, that's up to her. Because a lot of people have the imagination it's just directly for that. We, of course, are incurring fees on our own where we don't touch the account, buying extra medicines and stuff, and when the medicines doubled. So all in all, I'm a realist that as the money builds, which is substantially probably down to trickles right now, is going to be for hospice care because there's going to have to be a nurse in here this last month. There's just going to have to be. If it's the one, I'm not going to be that half dead and not go and get the meds that are required. There's medicines to relax my chest. Like there's pressure on it all the time. I have high anxiety. It's just not easy. So, yeah, so that's the addressing of it today. Again, it's Mother's Day. I didn't think you could make your intro longer. Oh, gotcha. Well, this one was 3 minutes. I need to edit it down, but we do. I mean, we've had 3 minute intros. Why? Because if I just open it up like I was going to open it up because I was falling behind, uh, then there's only 6, 7 people in there. So this allows it to open. I mean, we've explained this a few times. So for me, it's a good thing. So, and only a few people say something about it. And usually we keep it under about a minute and a half, but I guess I didn't realize that it was so long. So, hey, good morning, Ted. How are you doing? Yeah, there's my bucket of flowers there. Just glad he didn't bring a bunch of junk. Usually he attaches it with candy and everything else. And I'm like, yeah, actually, the candy wouldn't be a bad thing right now. It's the sodium part of everything. And I'm usually not the savory person. But since I'm not allowed to have it, it just seems like it's like the opposite effect, like the fluids. I push through the day barely drinking water or whatever. And now it's just like I'm absolutely parched. So. But happy Mother's Day to everybody. I will be doing a live stream to react to all of your current conditions and care plans tomorrow. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I'll have to. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. Got to make sure there's nothing going on. But yeah, yeah, it's something else. It really is, and you can't just put people into a category because young people, this is a young people disease, a kid disease, a big person disease, a small, and it's an aging thing. People don't realize that you're in a stage of congestive heart failure when you're on that water pill and your blood pressure's high all the time. And as a matter of fact, I'm actually surprised George has not had a stroke or heart attack. Why? Because ever since I met him, his blood pressure usually is over 200, 210, 220. The bottom numbers are high. And this is no caffeine, always high. And it's insane. This is hospital time bad all the time. Remember, it's hereditary for him, and his mom had a stroke. So it's like it's just we didn't think it would happen to me. We just thought it would be other things, like the lupus would get to something, but I didn't know, never even thought about it, looked it up or anything else. But um, it is scary because like I said, I thought I could get on a plane. Like that guy thinks he's just going to get on a plane first thing that he thinks about. But you know what? A lot of people perpetrate like I did, and then there'll be no time to get on a plane. No actual way. But yeah, I will definitely check that out. I don't think there's anything going on tomorrow that I know of. So that would be cool. Heidi, how much does it cost to replace the oxygen tank for your breathing machine? Okay, so there is no. Here's the deal. I was supposed to go on a tank itself, right? And because I didn't think we could get the purity that we actually needed. And the at that cost, it is $25 a day times 30. It was something unreal. I think it was like 700 and something dollars a month. There's no way. There would have been no absolute way. And actually there's Filipinos on it. I don't know how they afford it. And the oxygen concentrator, if you get the correct ones now, they do run like extremely high. They can be a couple $1,000s. It doesn't mean that the one that I have is any less. The doctor said, which ones to get and everything. But this one here, okay, like it's on a low setting right now because I'm using the nasal cannula. But it's, of course, quieter now. Let's see. Yeah, and it's got so it rolls unlike the other one. It was like more stable, and this one's easier. Like as soon as I'm done with the live, I'll go and lay down for hours because it's just where it is. Um, so um, so this one here, I think this one was. I'll have to look it up. $300 US. So it's not a bad price. It's one of those that's got the extra oxygen. And in other words, it's like the 93.3 plus 3 or something. It makes a difference. And when I go in the hospital, will go with me. Why? Because they'll charge me to run their machines and stuff, and they'll let you do that. So, um, but yeah. So to replace and do it was 300 and something. It was almost 13,000 pesos. And the one that I have to get that's portable just to do the appointments means my muscles are hurting. I'm short of breath. I'm getting dizzy. I'm becoming more forgetful. That means I need it everywhere, probably even to go from the bed to the bathroom. Now I'm going to be like, yeah, I don't want to put it on just to do that. But I'm getting so tired and so much pain that it's part of the reason. The doctor said it is the reason. Oh, shit. So that with the battery pack, because when you're out and about, you're going to need that extra battery pack. Push it somewhere around 21,000 or some 22,000 pesos. I think it's like 400 altogether. Do you think that you can get on George's back and he can swim? Yeah, that would be nice, right? Yeah, you're kind of missing the whole point. But I appreciate your comment there. Hey, good morning, Scuba Dabadoos. Happy Mother's Day. I think I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, Scuba Dooby Doos. So it's not a negative reaction, but just a solid look from a full clinical view for people. Yeah, and to understand that expats make mistakes. I never said that. I've had several different viewers leave comments. One guy is obsessed with telling me about not World Zoom. One of them responded to World Zoom, but the other one, uh, it's just I'm being compared, and it's weird at this point. It's like, yeah, you get everything you deserve for picking on expats, or you've been ripping people apart. And I'm like, where are you coming up with that? We have poked fun. We've done some comedy skits. We have brought things to light, and there's been some harsh live streams, but none to deserve to die situation. So, no, it's a whole light. And I hope that's what people learn from this. If the other channels want to poke fun and make fun of me from A to Z and bring up my past, they're welcome to it. They're welcome to it. I told George, and somebody else sent me an email talking about, yeah, don't let them get you. I said, no. I said, they don't unless they put their hands on me. That's the only problem that we're going to have. You can run your mouth from the South, but the moment you come down and put your hands on this girl, it's all over with. You better bet I'm going to find 10 times the strength to whoop your ass. So that's the only problem I would ever have is if I'm at, like at the hospital or something and someone tries to walk up and mess with me or something. That'd be the only problem that I would have. Words are not hurting me. You're just giving me the opportunity to respond to your dumbasses. And I get content as content. Everybody is doing content. And if somebody learns and says, shit, Heidi died, and it's because she, go ahead with the overweight, go ahead with the didn't take care, go ahead with all of that. If it makes you think that, oh my God, this is hurting, and then you go and get checked out for it's cheap to get checked out. It's like $20. But it's the big surgical things that most people don't have the money for. And a lot of people are in disbelief that their insurance pays out right away. So they're like, yeah, I got like 5,000 in the bank. It's like, dude, you do realize with your insurance, you're going to have to pay up front. And they're, oh shit. So it's kind of like that. Or they're expecting that this Phil health thing, like I've seen a guy that's wanting to renew his Phil health, but he was asking silly questions on a forum the other day. And it's like, he's just expecting it to cover everything. And it doesn't really cover much of anything at all. So it's just where it is. So there's just so many different sides to this. So thank you. And happy Mother's Day also. Fallen Center is in the house. What is going on? My wife's a retired RN and she tells me how bad lupus is, nasty stuff. Oh, it is. And it's like the APS. It's still an autoimmune issue. And I knew I had an issue because I was always giving blood to the Red Cross. Done it probably for 30 years. And I did it back in Florida. And for the longest time, I was okay. And then I'm like, hey, would you guys like my plasma? I never thought about that. And it's like, I don't know why, but they do not run that heavier testing or panels until they do that. At least back then, that's the way it was. And when they did, that's when it was discovered. Now you have to test over and over again because they want to make sure, because some negative positives, like a pregnancy test situation, it'll come up with that it was because you were sick from something before. So it will show that it's positive, but if it comes up the second and third time, then you have it. And sure enough, later down the road, I tested. And then when I went in for surgeries, when I had my hysterectomy, it came up again. And so they're like, it kind of changes things, but it don't. We have to give you additional medicine, to make sure you don't bleed out situation. Like there was all kinds, not bleed out, but they had, I think it was the blood thinner at the time. There was two meds that they gave me. But basically, it doesn't mean that it's physically sticky. They just call it sticky blood. There's a good chance that, most of this clotting, it's due to the APS, maybe my eating habits, not denying that, or the lupus. And it becomes a complication because the lupus right now has got everything inflamed. As soon as they put the stents in, it's still going to stay inflamed. That's why I have to go in the hospital for 10 days, probably minimally, to bring down all the inflammation, get rid of all the fluid before they'll do the surgery. And then it's like a complication just doing the testing and putting the stents in. Small recovery time, but we're also dealing with the 50-50 that I just have to have the open heart surgery. He said coronary bypass right away. And he says, yes, it's a possibility, but the longer I wait, the worse it gets. But anyways, yes, it is some nasty stuff. I don't know why people feel it doesn't exist. They pick on the things that they can see. Like, shit. I showed you, like I had a video of um let's see. So do you see these? They're all over my back, stomach, legs. What's happening is I'm getting welts because the doctor said basically it's just due to the fluid overload. So basically, I'm getting blisters because of the push of water against the cell walls or something, and I'm blistering and it's sloughing off. It feels like somebody burned me with cigarettes everywhere. They're on my legs. It just looks horrible. So, but if they can't see it, then they can't like deal with it. Like if I was losing all my hair and I was sitting here with sunken eyes and laying in bed half dead, you all be like, oh, okay, she's dying, but she's still scamming. Psst, put that in, bitches. That's just wild. Blame the fat girl and, go ahead. I'm game, but you ain't stopping me. I told George the other day, I cried. I said, I'm still grateful. Even up to this point, with purchasing the oxygen machine, we still have a few thousand left over. That's still enough to do hospice for a while. Absolutely. The last 2 months, anyways, maybe give or take, depends on who we bring in. But it's like I didn't have all that extra before. So I guess my scamming paid off somehow, some way. And like Brian said, if it goes for something, if I eat donuts till the day I die, that's where it goes. But this has just been a blessing being able to talk about it. I was just going to lay down and say nothing. And Mike encouraged me so much because, I look back at that video. He was like, you got to keep asking, you got to keep fighting. And it's like, I'm 55. This is where the negative part came in because it's not easy. It's beyond depressing because even if I get the stents, there's a good chance the lupus is just going to cause all kinds of havoc. And I still got a valve going out. So I got to have open heart surgery anyways. So get well enough. I'm going back to the US, but I got to start with the stents. So I have just enough faith, kind of like what the fuck is going on in America. I'm like, okay, it's good. No, bad. Screw it. The one thing I got all over you guys is I'm checking out early before all this shit goes down and before the big gray bomb drops. So I'm out, dudes. And George goes, oh, don't talk like that. And I said, well, I don't want to wait around for that. Jokesy, but it's true. It's like, some of us is lucky and some of us is not. But yeah, it's just overall, it's just depressing and upsetting that you can only have so much faith. Okay. You just can. I still am going to have open heart surgery. But when I think about the kids, young kids that have cancer, they say, oh, well, they're on their 14th surgery. Then you're like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can. But add in that I'm 55 and I'm still going to have lupus, still going to have the fibromyalgia. I haven't even touched on my skin cancer on my face. I haven't even touched on the fact that a long time ago, at a way smaller size, that they're talking about knee surgery. So I need both knees replaced. And it's like, shit, anything else could go wrong? Yeah, I'm a walking, bomb. But these weren't things and reasons not to come here. And I'm thanking God that I'm here because financially I'd be wiped out in America. And at least I'm being honest about that. A lot of these channels ain't keeping it real. They just aren't. And if people want to be blinded by people lying and they follow the lie quicker than the truth, and that's on them. If they want to have their eyes closed with blinders like a stupid ass donkey, then that's on them. But I'm serious about if these people want to do the actual cam up. Put your money where your mouth is these expats, but they won't. They're cowards. They just want to talk from the sideline. That's their rights. A few of them said on the other channel, they've left comments, and I read them the other day. They said that, oh, Heidi deleted my comment. You sure the fuck right I am. Why would I leave the lies that you're learning, that you listened to and typed or made up yourself? It's kind of a combination, but why would I leave that on the channel? This ain't no fucking, I think, like, what's his name said? Mike, you said it's not democracy. This isn't your fucking channel. This is not, hey, it's YouTube. You got to leave it on there, or you're not keeping it real, or we're hiding something. No, you don't get that fucking right. That right is gone. People get blocked when they come in with the stupidest shit. Of course they get removed. It is not your God given right. This is not like ABC where I seen 100 comments against the president and stuff, and some of them were quite rude, and they just leave them there. No, we would actually remove these. It is our right to go through and police the comments, as George does, and as our actual moderators. And we do have them. Ted, Sarah, there's a few people that are moderating. You're not going to. But if you want to cam up, and I know who you guys are, then do it. Then freaking do it. So they ain't got nothing. They're going to come up with the same thing. Oh, you're picking on the Filipino P and you don't know shit. And you're bullshit. Let me stir you up a little bit. You simps are watching her talking like a whole video a couple days ago about her dad using a regular fishing pole versus the Philippine way. Sorry. If you're watching that shit that he's using a modern fishing pole, that's her entire content, then that's on you guys. And if I want to fucking say something and I didn't watch the entire video, that's what the fuck I'm going to say. You sit your ass on your couch over there in America and think about it. I mean, it is what it is on that shit. It's stupid. It's stupid. Just like saying her family didn't have certain candies and that Twinkies were new to them. Bullshit. That they didn't have something that sweet was her statement. And it's like, what? So it's like, if I want to say something because I'm watching someone's content, it doesn't mean I have to love it and fall over it. I've been watching her content for years. Just like you can have your opinion, but don't come in with a bunch of lies. You can argue with me all day. You want to argue all day? Cam the fuck up. That's what's going to happen. Be the same as the British guy. Go ahead. But I know the first thing, just like the last time we let trolls on, there were two of them. The guy tried to talk about abortion and tried to throw my past in there, which he always has incorrect. And then the other one, same thing. Same thing. And he got put in his place. You're fat and you're a criminal and you're a bad person. And that's all you fucking got? Go sit down somewhere, dude. I know exactly where you are coming from. I love eating also, and I have tried every diet out there. GLP-1 a month, and I think it's going to be a miracle. Yeah, I'll pass. If you haven't been watching and you are a new account, I've never seen a comment or seen you in here. I've discussed this before. GLP-1 is not a miracle. Works for some, not for others. With all the medications and all my complications and health issues, it is not better for me to be on that at this time. I will be dead by the end of the year without a doubt. I'll be dead probably by my birthday in July. I'm not going on that and having diarrhea and headaches and vomiting and the shit people aren't telling you. Okay. They tried to put me on another one similar to that like 3 months ago. Same thing. I couldn't even get out of bed. The diarrhea was horrible. And it's towards the heart condition, not for losing weight. It's another GLP. And I'm like, I'm not having anything to do with those at all. It's not a miracle. People look like shit, which I don't give a shit if I look like shit. And people are like, well, you need to lose weight. That's just it. That's the whole debate right now. Is if you will lose weight right this minute. That's what they're saying. Lose this weight and that's going to cure everything. It is fucking not. There is no possible way. Even if I starve myself, which I'm not going to fucking do right now. Sorry. I'm not even eating anyways. So you take into the fact that I'm going to absolutely take away anything when I have an appetite. It would take me 2 to 3 years naturally. I can't move and don't have energy because of the oxygen and the way my heart is working. So losing weight, not only would it be difficult, there's your fucking excuse, but it's medically almost impossible on the steroids, medications I'm on, and everything else. It is not going to cure that. That seems to be this latest guy's rant that if I just change my diet and lose the weight, your heart will improve. What did you read some of them expat? Did you read some of those forums from congestive heart failure where somebody shows an AI photo of a muscle guy and he said, "Oh, I had this, and that," and he goes with the lowest levels, of course, and he said, "Oh, I just changed my diet." Most of them are selling books, by the way, but they come in and they say, if you just get rid of all the sugar and you get rid of all the meats and go vegan and do, you're going to improve your health. That it's just going to turn it around. You don't fucking turn around a bad valve. You don't turn around under any circumstance, and don't expect me to fucking do it. Without a doubt. It's just an insanity at this point. It is not going to change the lupus. It is not, it can help me with remission. You don't know what I'm eating right now. You're assuming because I'm big that that's what I'm doing all day. It's not. Now, in saying that, it's not going to change. It is not going to change. And I told George, I am not going to sit around eating nothing but vegetables and salads. Do I naturally do this anyways and eat a healthier diet? Yeah. No fast food, can't have no more pizza. Last 90 days, none of that out the door. All of it. I can't have any of it. We even used to have ham and like subs and everything. I can't do any of it. It's gone because there's too much sodium. It is physically hurting me. But what food that I can eat, I'm not cutting it out and going on a diet. It's ridiculous when I hear you guys, oh, do exercise. Oh, see what I mean? She's just making excuses. So it's like, all right, sit and spin, bitches. And you know what I realize? These people are just deflecting. Everything they're complaining, like the one guy, he's fat himself. He's an alcoholic, ladyboy loving dumbass. And it's like everything he's complaining at me about being a beggar and asking for money and that I'm a druggie and all this other fucking shit that him and his croons go on about. That's them. It's all of them. So good for you. You're taking a deep look at yourself. Nobody's fucking perfect. He without sin cast that first stone into this fucking pond, bitch. What part of the whole time I've already taken acceptance? I live with it every fucking day. You don't. You just don't. And they played that same fucking game the last time. All those scans, 20 something scans, was the same person figuring they were triggering and that I was thinking money was coming in. Once I mentioned it, they went double time, like a 2-year-old. You did nothing. You stayed in the live stream the whole time and I got paid based on it, you dumbass. So I'm not going to even put it up today. People that are donating already know where to go look for it. As I'll mention, it's in the actual description or at the end of our About Us page. It's already posted. So the last few times you come in here and act like an idiot and rang a bell, but you just stayed in the live. You didn't go out and then come back in. No, you stayed in the live. People are just stupid, man. My family has been a part of a study about lupus. They still don't know why or how, but are now thinking it's hereditary, which they didn't before. My sister and two of my daughters have it. My uncle died. Yeah, it's definitely, it's just not environment or something. They have a pretty good ideal, but there is no answer for it. Just like specific cancers, they don't have no real answer of one situation. It's the same with lupus. So, like I said, I grew up in an era and up north where there was a ton of lead everywhere. I grew up in a cold environment forever, and then I went into a hot environment where, everything changed. I've been under stressful jobs. I've been around chemicals a bunch at certain jobs. So it could be anything. You can't just say Heidi's fat and that's what caused all of her issues. And then the dude, by the way, on the other hand, started going into my finances. He's like, I'm like, what the fuck? So it's like, it doesn't matter about as much as I make excuses, these people are. She's in denial of this or she's lying about that, but she mostly has an excuse and an answer. You sure the fuck does. It's my life. And because the answers are right and the real deal, you can't deal. You can't handle. That's just where it is. What they can't handle is big deal. I'm fat. Big deal. It's a big deal. Big fucking whoop. I am still with that theory. If I don't get another dollar, which it's down to a drip right now, you sure the fuck ain't changing my life. So I'm going to run my mouth. I'm going to run my mouth and make people aware of what's going on. I still pay my bills. There's still money coming in. My everything, nothing's changed. Even the nasty emails and messages about George. He still lives here. We're still together. We still, everything is still here. It's like, you're not changing anything, dude. I don't trials with different meds. Yeah, that was part of the trials of the Belinstia, the very first ever med developed for lupus over 10 years. I was one of those who had good results about for about a year. See, here's the thing. I've been on them for probably certain ones for 2 years. It just seems like they stop working, but most of them do. And it's a big difference when I'm not on the high hydroxychloroquine. The other day, I was off of it for like a day because it's not, you can't find it here all the time. Basically, it is the one based on the malaria drug, but that works the best for me. It's the same as my steroid. If I'm off of it, my body inflames, my heart gets worse. And that's why I am on the steroids. Everybody's like, oh, they AI, and it's like, oh, they say you shouldn't be on it. It's because you AI'd that shit. Go to a specialist, dude. And so I do need these two drugs minimally, including the water pills. And yeah, I'm having memory issues, extremely tired, losing sleep. Um, I forgot my train of thought here, but either way, the those two drugs are miracles for me. If I don't have either of them, I won't even be able to go to the bathroom. I went one day without that because it wasn't available here locally in a big city, and I it was horrible. It was the excruciating pain. It like doubled. So Heidi, you're the best. Don't change for anybody. Just be Heidi. Big ass. Yeah, Heidi, big ass, and we all love you, right? No, I'm gonna sit there and be me. I have to, and I'm not gonna change that. Like, I get it's Mother's Day and everything, and I told George that, it was. I said I'm going to. There's been so many comments. I said they're just giving me, they're just giving me content. It also allows me to talk about my medical issues, possibly raise awareness, possibly raise any funds, and address how stupid the world can be. It's, there are just as many nasty people as there is good people. And I think it's insane. It's just, I still can't believe it. I forgot who addressed this the other day. Trying to think of what actor, They said that. These are grown men and women. I think it was the Osborne girl because she's extremely skinny. They're picking on her all day long. They're saying because she's sick, it's because she's skinny. Nobody's happy. Nobody's happy. And I get the girl's really skinny. She does look ridiculous. But like she said, these are grown ass men. Fred Flintstone, that talks the most shit about me, talks shit about 10 different channels. So, okay, in good company, right? But the fact that he's over 60, and he's lying if he says he isn't, that is talking and rallying up men to take me down legally and to rally that I'm broke and this. You're damn right. I'm broke, sick, and asking. So you ain't got shit with all your. And then he's just making up stuff on the side. But he's a joke, right? And the funny part is that he's a grown ass man with all those other guys in the room saying stupid shit. Oh, she looks like a whale. She looks like a hog. I'm sure she's in there reading that. Yeah, because people say, and I actually get to use it against you guys. They're grown ass men in there talking. It's crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. The world, the actual world is just falling apart. There was no money for the pharmaceuticals to develop any meds until the government gave millions for research for lupus. Yeah. Lupus is a progressive disease that destroys major organs, especially the heart and kidneys. And it's what people don't realize is yes, eating sugar or fast food or a specific diet does affect the lupus. But even then, they don't know how much. They just assume that eating a clean diet works for some. And it does when I stay away from that. But who can do that all the time? Just like guys that quit smoking that smoke a cigarette every now and then. I'm cutting down on alcohol, but they still have it. You can't tell me because I want pizza every now and then or any of this, it made me a bad person. It just, and it's like, it's just wild. The same people that run their mouths are the same, don't have any thought process whatsoever, and they're eating like a glutton themselves, but they're better than somebody. So, karma. Thinking of lupus like Pac-Man is going around the body. Yeah, eating the bad and good cells. Yeah, if it doesn't differentiate between the good and the bad, so it slowly destroys the cells too. That's why taking the med dampens. It does. And on top of that, with the lupus, you go into remission. They're claiming one of the blood tests showed remission, and now they're showing it's back. It's just that quick. And as a matter of fact, I'm eating better than I did before. It's because my heart conditions. So everything is attacking itself. It's just bad. And I'm at a stage now that I don't give a shit or give a damn situation. I give enough damn, but not. It's like it's kind of hard to explain. I would like to throw caution to the wind and sit around and just drink beer all day or Kahlua in my coffee all day and just sit around having whatever fast food and all that, just say fuck it. But it doesn't work like that either. I'm not trying to totally put 3.5 feet into the grave situation, but it has a major effect. You guys don't understand that also any movement I've made for the last couple years I know is affecting my health. I have taken caution. But for the last 90 days, if I don't take caution, if I eat anything with a little bit of salt, like I said, I just realized the tortillas had a ton of salt in them, like almost my day in one tortilla. And I'm like, see, it was still causing issues. Then it causes me to bloat more, causes me to retain water worse, so you have to take care. So yeah, take care of your body, man. Love the intro. I don't know if I put this in there. Somebody just sent a message to me on Messenger and said, it's better. There is the go get funding that George did a whole thing. It's got an explanation of what's going on. Let me pull this up here, being we've got X amount of people in the room. So let me see if I can bring this up this way. So that just explains what's going on in my levels. We have proof and documents. I've been showing my trips. So you got to go in and watch the videos and stuff. But I was talking at the earlier for those that are joining is that the last 2 days have been critical. My oxygen was down to 75 and stayed there. And so I had to adjust the oxygen, and here it is at 90. And it's just been bad. It just means my heart's failing quicker. Again, I'm not doing anything different. No extra water, no extra salt, not doing anything. I'm resting properly. I'm sitting up. I'm elevating my feet. There's a limit. Again, motherfuckers, it has nothing to do with, hey, she's fat and she's causing it. No, my heart is failing. And there is no going back on this. It's only going to get worse. Matter of fact, it was very, very alarming how quick the doctor said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm here for more tests to see an improvement, being I'm on different meds from the lupus doctor and the pulmonary." And he just shook his head. He goes, "There is no improvements. There's not going to be. I'll do blood work to check your potassium and to see where these different things." He goes, "But those other numbers are not going to change." And that's another thing. Somebody tried to say that I said that I was getting a CAT scan and I paid for this. And there was some wannabe doctor, nurse person about a month ago in one of the rooms talking. And it's like, I never said that I needed or was getting any of those. I've always been pretty consistent about saying I changed on the price because we were saving, and without the specialists and everything else, we thought that we only needed like 30,000. And that's not true, especially after we talked to Mike and stuff, because we were talking to the hospital, but them doctors, until we get in there and get on the nitty gritty and set up a package, until we actually went to AUF, that's when we were recently told 6 or 7 million for the entire heart surgery, and that 1 or 2 stents could run 2.53 million. So up to 60,000, that might be minimal. So I never said that I had to go for a bunch of them, because they're also trying to say I lied, because that's not the standard. But there are some bigger tests that they do for certain situations, or can. It's just not, some people don't have, precise equipment, and they have other ways of doing the diagnostics and stuff. But I never said that's what had to be done, and that's what was done. Oh, she's lying. She said she had this test, and she had an MRI and had I forgot what the other one they tried to say. And I'm like, I never said that. And it was like so much misinformation. And you know what? I challenge people with channels to hear stuff. Like George heard somebody say something the other day, and he's like, there's a false information that if we're talking about it, that they think they've nailed us to the wall. No, it's the lies, and how people will come in and say, yeah, that happened. And it's like, but you don't know. Even if you think something's happened, you don't know the backing of it. You don't know like full details. People think they're such detectives now from shit that happened 20, 30 years ago. So they're saying a bunch of shit about George now. And it's like, when you couldn't get to me, then you thought you would start. And it's just like, and I was like, yeah, I said, I know it's not true. And that's what counts. What we think and what people are saying are two different things. But yeah, let me go in here. So it starts, okay, that's with the oxygen. So it fluctuates so much, 75, 93, 94. If I am sitting up and have not moved for a while, then it actually can get at 96, 97, 99. That's back to 90 again. So on that's with oxygen. This isn't good. It shouldn't be that low. It's indicating the amount of fluid that's around my heart, my lungs. I'm wheezing at night again, where it went away for about a month. It's back. And so my heart is struggling extremely. And the reason I'm showing this is to also prove my case. Where am I making this shit up? That's not because I'm fat. Sorry, it just isn't. See, that was when I was sitting there on oxygen. See how much it fluctuates? So my daughter was saying this morning, she says, well, Mom, you said the other day you got to watch your oxygen, because if you're on it too long, because I was supposed to be on it up to 16 hours a day. I said, no, I do. I check it all the time. I said, because if you're at 99 and you're off the oxygen, you don't want to. But the doctor just told me that with this much fluctuation and dropping that low, yeah, I have to keep it on because the highest it gets is 99 with the oxygen on. So as sick as I am, I got to keep it on all the time. And I don't want to buy that other machine. I didn't want to buy one because one, the trolls went, "Oh, she's not sick because she's not carrying around a machine." The other part, I don't want to spend the money. I'd rather keep the 22,000 pesos for another month worth of a nurse or to bring somebody in now to help me. I don't want to have to do it. Yeah, I don't know how much of this. It should stop here in a minute. I got other stuff in here like the echocardiogram. Yeah, look how quick it fluctuates. And it'll go all the way down to 70 for like, no, I'm not moving, I'm not nothing. My heart is trickling a teaspoon of blood through my body. My skin's getting blisters, my fingers are numb, my tongue is numb, my lips numb. And the first thing people say, go to the emergency room. Can't do it. Can't afford it, can't do it. And it's my decision for coming to the Philippines because I can't risk the money for my long-term care. Because if I go in now, I'm going to end up with an extra bill that I can't afford to pay back, and then I won't be able to do currently what I'm doing. I have George's brother is a doctor. I have my own nursing background, and I'm already being seen by 3 specialists. Short of getting the angiogram and stents or open heart surgery, there's nothing anybody can do for me right now but to be cared for at home. That's all I can do. There's no way to get back home. There's no way to swim on George's back across the ocean. There is no possible way to go to another country. We've had several people recently mention again Guam. No, I'm not going to Guam. It's people, it's and these people just aren't our regulars that are coming in and say, "Hey, have you tried this?" No, these are the trolls that are coming in and saying, "Oh, did you not go there or why aren't you?" And it's just like you're just, it is what it is on that. All right, Heidi. Was this the only one that you put up? No, I think I put the wrong video up. This might be the okay. So I think this is the okay. So that's what happened. I was like, why is this so long? It's because it's the wrong video. Hello. I was like, I know I didn't leave that much on there. So give me a minute. I was like, what the hell? That's why I was running behind. I'm tired and stuff this morning. So I had the wrong video. Uh, Did I not? I guess I just didn't save it. Say that'll tell you. Besides me being hyperactive and ADHD, my ass didn't even complete this task. Too busy biting on George's neck. Snap, 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 snap. What had happened was let me go check something why this is uploading. So I think I jumped around on saying that so we don't give the trolls a multiple as an S the chance to fake a scan. Like I said, I've added the so even if you just go look at the story, it updates you. Whether you support or drop a dollar or whatever. I know it's not, I actually feel like I'm becoming like Jerry Lewis or something, becoming more professional because I look at myself later and watch the video. I'm like, yeah, I probably do. It does look bad or it does look like begging. And I'm like, yeah, Heidi, but what are you going to do? If I don't get the support, then it's like I wouldn't even be this far. And it has made a difference. And like I said, most people feel that it's embarrassing if they just give the $5 or $1 or $2, but it does. Like Sarah said, we have 26,000. Now, how many of them like are still watching and all that? But if we got $1 from everybody, it would add up quick. And at least guarantees the support that I'll have the last few months worth of nursing and be able to afford, the extra medications, and be able to take care up to having open heart surgery. That is the whole goal, is to get home. My ass ain't minding leaving George. That's for fucking sure, man. It's like, I'm out. And I don't have criminal warrants. Somebody tried to come in and say, yes, you do. The dumbass left one and he goes, you've got past due bills and rent. Somebody's put a lien. And I'm like, dude, I've been gone close to 7 years. And so even if it was, it dropped off and it's not true. And it was kind of weird. It's like nobody's setting arrest warrants out over a visa bill or something. That's what he was going on about. I was like, it's amazing, some of this stuff. So I'm not running. I have family. I have money to get home on a plane. I just can't. Ain't happy about the cost, ain't happy about the trip and how painful it's going to be, but I don't want to end now and stop breathing. That is a big difference between day and night. Okay, so here's the number. All right. So see, it started out as 89. So this was the edited video because I've got like photos again of my medical, like where it shows congestive heart failure and SELE, where it shows the diagnosis. A lot of people are like, oh, she doesn't have lupus. She's just making that up too. And it's like, dude, when it's in front of you, it's better for you to say that. So yeah, it dropped to 75. Yeah, and this is up and down. This was the day before, and I was just saying last night it dropped to 75. It was at 90. So, yeah, all in all, these are my reading glasses. This pair is legit. Yeah, dropping to 90 is considered low to borderline. And when I say borderline, 90 is still a problem. Patients often experience or short of breath, fatigue, and mental confusion, and that's at 90. Hell, it's like that at 94. But for me, it's the fluid around my organs that's causing me to be short of breath. Dropping to 75 is just life threatening. It is severe hypoxemia. At this level, patients are significantly having respiratory distress. And without a doubt, I felt like I was drowning and stuff. That's what woke me up. Cognitive changes in blue. Yeah, George ain't kidding. The doctor, when he told me the 16 hours a day, I was blue because I didn't have the machine. One, at that time, it wasn't a financial, decision to get one to go to a doctor's appointment. I thought it was a little extravagant. And, but now I can't even go to the bathroom without becoming dizzy. So it is a serious situation. Yeah, so this should shorten here in a minute. All right, so here at the top, that's where you're seeing the levels of the right heart, left heart, but the SV1, that is a stroke level. And with it being at 11, it's just not good. It should be at a 35. And actually, I think they listed as 50 would be even better. But an 11, just like the doctor said, he goes, your EKG and the echocardiogram, that's what this is just insane. He's surprised I haven't had a stroke. He was surprised to see me in his office. He's not following up with me. When I walked in, he was surprised. I just want to show you it's mine. The trolls have been saying even my videos are AI'd, which we know it's a far stretch. It must be nice to be that much of a professional liar, an idiot, and a jackass to actually think everything is faked. I'm old school, dude. I'm just going to bitch and show you. And then, of course, there it is at the bottom, congestive heart failure. And then there's the medications that he refilled, and that's just part of them. There's the test. But yeah, there it is. That is just recent. And they're doing the home care service too. I just can't get out anymore, guys. It's not even a joke. And there it is. Oh, she's not sick. It's not real. I've even had regulars that have been in doubt. It's like, wow, it's because of these idiots out here. So before they would just give us stickers for being funny, but now it's oh, maybe she is scamming, or maybe this is because they've gotten stuff before. No, The wheelchair and AC, it ain't a fucking joke, man. It was a very grateful decision that we've had our viewers be so generous and be nice. Now I'm dealing with dying. Now I'm dealing with extreme stress and depression and being scared and wanting to go home and can't go home. You guys have no idea, but it's I want people to learn. I want people to understand and know. So, and there it is. Mike, if you're still in there, there's the medications, probably pretty similar to what you had, the furosemide. I'm on it 3 times a day. I don't get a break. I can't sleep beyond 2 hours. So get that. For the last 3 months, I don't get more than 2 hours sleep at a time. You realize what that does to the body? You guys have any idea? Also, spiractolone, 50 milligrams. Okay. And then I'm on the Anestro, the Metopolol, 80 milligrams of aspirin. And that's because that helps with the APS in the heart. Then the calcium. I forgot how to say it. It's a rotovastin calcium. And then the I can't pronounce that one. It's Jardiance. And that's not the only meds I'm on. I take about 10 in the morning, about 10 of them at night. So then I'm on clonidine. I'm on there's all kinds of things. I'm on steroids. I'm on 3 meds for lupus. And it just never stops. It just never stops, guys. So, and there it is, faked, huh? Why don't you guys try calling the heart doctor and asking, dumbasses? Let's see. I'm falling behind here. Let me adjust here. I feel like I'm sliding. I am sliding. All right, I'm back. I'm sliding. Did you guys see George's Mother's Day flowers? And a big shout out for the mothers. Big shout out for what's going on today. And there's a beignet over there. Hi, Laura. Hey, what's going on, vlogging life? Bruce is in the house. Yeah, I'm falling behind. Thank you, Michael. Michael Onstad does the best insurance. He talked to us months ago about insurance, and the insurance just based on lupus does extremely go up, and me being overweight. And but when it comes to insurance, he is the guy. He is the best guy over anybody, even Filipinos. We had a difficult time talking with people on insurance, but he has the full understanding. And we have always, like in our description, have his information because I'm hoping, and there's no commission for us, and we just put it in there because if you guys can get and afford insurance, then of course you want it. It most definitely, without a doubt. There's no doubt. It was financially beyond us at that point. I think we talked to him months ago. It just, there was no way. At that time, we were paying $30 a month to see a doctor and then meds on the side. But, you know, uh, yeah, just at that time, it was too much. But thank you, Michael, so much. Be going through here. Love the interest. Yeah, most of our people ain't got no problems. It's always a one-off or person. I'm not saying the person's in here that's doing it, but we do get one-timers that'll come in and say, that's way too long. I'll never watch again. You was never going to watch to begin with. And you don't get it, or you've done lives and you haven't done it for 5-6 years. We were some of the beginners, like our Philippine Journey did a bunch of them, and Brian did a bunch, and Geo and Sunshine Shoulders. Only so many channels. Were there others doing live streams over the years? Yes, but when live streaming became big, the only reason the others used it was people like trolls. They would bring 8 people into a room to talk shit about people. Or you have those channels that'll attack other channels in America. And it's like most of it was just kiddie shit. It was kind of like a chat room shit, like just chat room bullshit. But people that helped or made any sense or did anything, like the ones that I just mentioned, that it's not easy. So it's been a trial and error with me and George. It really has. And we have found during the either it's a 1.5 minute to a 3 minute video, instead of sitting there with two people in the room, we're just like this. It's like, we used to argue about, do we start? Do we what? You learn this stuff. Usually you're 30, 40 people. When it's running, it sends signals out. So there's a science to it. There really is. And you're either going to hit it or you're not. Hey, Hillbilly Pyro. My doctor had me on chemo treatments to bring my immune system down. It was not worth it, feeling like crap. Yeah, see, and I've always said this, that if I found out I have cancer, I'm not going to do treatment. I'm not going to be like my mother and sick for 6 months and then die anyways. Just not going to do it, even if they say it's 3, 4 years. But here's what I'm living with. Even if I get these stents and I go through this, I still have to have open heart surgery later. So I'm going to put myself through all this and go through everything that I'm going, and there's still going to be issues. I get it. It's like the long-term effect. And then I have skin cancer. Part of the shit on my arm is skin cancer, and this has come back. And this isn't even up close. I took a photo. I was going to put that in there and show you guys that, but it's eating up my face. Eventually, this is going to go all the way through. Could go right down to my jaw inside. But right now, I am not going in to deal with it right now. One, I can barely get around half the time. So I will go back in. I don't know, maybe in a few months, but to me, it's the least of my problems. There's a good chance, and I'm saying a good chance, that I will not make it past my birthday this summer. And it's just being real, guys. I'm surprised I'm alive now. So 1 point for the troll. It's tiring. It's extremely tiring. So, um, life expectancy with nothing with as bad as my cases, and it's getting even worse, is 75 at nighttime. And I'm not even down. Like the bed that I'm in, and I've showed this for the people that haven't, you can see that that's elevated, and that's not even all the way up. There's my stuff that I keep next there because I can't move most of the day. All of that is equipment set up, and the breathing machine goes over there. And there's even a box underneath there so I could keep like my clothes and things that I need right away, because I can't. Yeah, see, here's another one of those blisters. See them? They actually, see, there's a few of them here that have already started to heal. But no, it's just been, it's the experience is an experience. And I just couldn't, I hate to say it, I didn't get the option to just have a heart attack and go in and get things done right away either. This is a slow roll. It's like a slow situation. And I told George, sometimes I feel it is karma. And maybe it is. Maybe this is all karma for me. Told George, I don't think we made it through the mountains of Mexico. I really feel it seems like a joke with what's going on in the world, with Iran, with America. I've never seen so much weird shit go on in my life. Does anybody else think that? There's like somebody's pulling my leg. Everything. Did they really just release UFO information right now in America? It's insane. You know what? I told George, see, I hope I am gone by my birthday. It's like ridiculously stupid. And it's like, it just is what it is on the situation. I just can't believe by the day. It doesn't matter, Democrat or Republican. The whole fucking United States is going down. And they just had a bunch of people from around the world. It was on an actual news broadcast with that British guy. And like, the guy was like, the whole world thinks America's a joke right now. Nobody believes anything that's going on. And the guy was like, oh, well, we're doing the right thing. And it's like, you keep defending, man. You keep defending. And now even the cabinets people are turning on them. So it's just getting weird by the moment. And I'm aware that the other side, Democrats or Republicans, are just corrupt. There's so much corruption. People talk about the Philippines. Fuck that shit. You better take a look in your own backyard. Canada, France, all these other countries. It's always been about themselves, not the people. Them people back in the day they had it going on. They were right about everything. But things just become, now they don't care if everybody knows. It's almost like they want you to see it on social media. It's like they're trying to drag people. It's just weird. I think they want people to go insane and start civil wars and stuff. And now another possible pandemic? Who knows? Don't say, oh, well, it's not just a few people. Yeah, this is taking off really fast. All them other theories and everything, conspiracy theories, I could drop. But with everything going on, it's just another distraction. Uh, whole lot going on. But Heidi, why don't you all talk about that shit on your channel? Matter of fact, that one channel that doesn't like me talking about the P. He goes when he's bored, not getting any numbers, which is about 20 views. He turns around and he goes on about other shit going on. I'm like, well, that's where you should have started at, you dumbass. Yes, taking methotrexate and yeah, Imuron, both chemo meds for lupus. It sucks. Yeah. Do you have any regrets that you didn't go back to the US for medical help? Okay, Izzy and Chris. Regrets that I didn't go back. There was no chance. My lupus has always caused half the symptoms I have. And no, I wasn't going to go back for that. What people don't understand is saying go back is easier than done. Okay, for probably 8 out of 10 expats, whether it's to America, whether it's to the UK. Why? That's how come you see these homeless guys on What's Her Face's channel, which, by the way, now she's fighting. Now Carrie is fighting with another channel that she says is copying her and ripping her off. So now she's got a whole new drama going on. But when she finds these expats that she helps, um, these guys would rather stay here than go back, even if they're homeless, for many reasons. The government, the people, the corruption, there's not as many jobs as people say, and it's not as good as people say it is, and especially during the last year. So, in saying that, I didn't have any warning. I'm not saying you, but you're not the only one that said this. There is no warning. I want to address everybody. Literally, when it happened like a ton of bricks. And there's just no way. Probably even starting in November and December, I probably wouldn't have had the option. The only thing is maybe a year ago, if I'd have thought about, okay, this is pain, and I'd have went to a heart specialist at that point, then maybe that's about the only regret that I have. So, and financially, it's just a hot mess. It just is. Having treatment here or going back, because if I go back, it's probably going to be permanent. It just would have to be, because I have to have open heart surgery later to fix a valve. And I'm sorry, if you're not making over 3-4 thousand a month, you're just going to be beyond lower class. There is no systems of sitting on welfare like people say, or you can go get this and that, and you're gonna get low income housing, and you're gonna no, this is not all gonna happen. This is not going to happen. I do have family I can stay with, but it still is not going to help financially. So to start over and have spent all your savings coming here and while you were here and helping others during all the incidences that happened in the US, yeah, our money is drained. So it's too late for it. And this is a fact that it happens to people. Life happens. It happens to a lot of expats. They run into this shit. So I see why they stay. It's also, I will admit, as much as I have picked and drug other people down, I'd say, well, why the hell didn't he leave? Or why did he wait so long? Why she cheated on him? That's why. Most of the factoring is not because of how much they love that bitch. It's because they couldn't deal with going back to America or dealing with their family or having a place to stay or going back to the misery where they started. That is the truth. Most of the guys that leave their country, they're miserable. When we left Summit, we were miserable. The whole damn pandemic was going on. People were fighting. They were starting to become nastier by the moment. The government was always already showing signs of shit going bad. It was time to get out. So I don't want to have to go back to that. So, yeah, so I see why. Regrets, I regret now, but there was no real sign. And honestly, I don't think those that are saying they would have seen the sign and left, they're full of shit. They probably would have stayed anyways. Most of the guys that have been talking shit, and not you again, is the ones that don't get help in the US. Most men do not take their asses to the doctors unless their wives have them do it or something. So the bad part is no immune system, so you're susceptible to all kinds. Yeah, Every time I'd go out to the bank or we'd go to the mall because my lupus, I was tired. That's why I took wheelchair sometimes because my felt like it was just weak sometimes. And every time I'd go out, George says, "Stop touching everything. You're touching the counters and all that." Yeah, I'd end up sick. So F those haters and trolls. If they are so unopposed to what you are doing, they should not watch the channel. They're watching because they want to talk. They're watching so they feel better about themselves. But they're watching because I'm them. I'm them. They'd be like, "Oh, I ain't nothing like that bitch." No, you are. You're a criminal. You're a scammer. You e-bag. Several of the channels are e-bagging that are talking about me, like beyond e-bagging. And because they have no money, we have income before all of this happened. Like we can afford now. Don't hate because I had salmon. There was like two people left a message. Oh, look at that bitch eating. She ate at the hospital. She's got all that money. She should pay for her own shit. That's all you got, bitch? We're still living our life. Would you like an accounting of what's on my grocery shelf in here or something? That's not the way it works. Be realistic. If I was a BP Filipina dancing and cooking some eggs on a stove, and you guys drop 700 pesos, and she's about, "Oh, little Miggy, my man's been cheating on me. My Filipino man cheated on me, and he left me for another woman," and they're going on about that shit, and you're feeding them, and then she ends up with a GoPro and a goddamn new car, or says they're helping people, and then your ass, you ain't taking no accounting of that shit because I'm fat and a loudmouth. It's like, oh, fucking, what's it, me. Go sit down somewhere. So they're going to watch anyways. They're going to watch. They're definitely going to watch. There's a lot of shows and news things I can't stand. Like TMZ came up the other day. I stopped watching them when they started agreeing with the new. They went through and said a bunch of shit a few months ago that was all not only pro Trump, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they really went into some weird theories and they were like really for it. Two of the people on there was like, yeah, I'm not watching this. Their channel got super, super political. Do I? Yeah, that's a totally different thing. I watch TMZ because they follow celebrities around, not to listen to them talk about government issues. And so I stopped watching. It came up the other day and I hate the guys in there and they were talking about something else. And so I got all interested. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch. But people are going to watch no matter what. Yes, I am. And like I said, I'm going to eat what I want, do what I want, go to sleep when I want. If I want to stop all my medications and just sit here and eat pizza, that's what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, that's just where it's at. Not that it's happening, but I'm trying to give you an ideal up to these other people are sitting around constantly drinking alcohol and doing drugs and smoking weed, which ain't nothing wrong with all you guys having your whatever. They're out partying and getting their boom boom on all the time with different women and living their best life and shit. There's consequences to all of this shit too, guys. Heavy partying, overspending, and all that. You'll learn later down the road. A portable unit for my mother was over 6 grand with an extra battery. They make a fortune off that stuff. You know what? I'm extremely lucky to be here financially. I'm really, I do also feel on the other hand that God put me here for a reason because a lot of this hit, even though I had insurance in America, the copays were still high. $50 here, $75 here. Some things weren't covered. Half my medication was not covered in America. So it's not like, it's not the same. At least some things are cheap here. It's like there's so many pros and then there's these cons. You have to balance that out. That same machine looked up on Amazon. Yes, I think they're over 1,500 to a couple thousand. So yeah, I believe it. There are only so many brands that are small enough. Now I wanted to go with one that was smaller, but it was another $100, but there was no information on the company. I had to go with one of the biggest companies here, and that's why it's 18 or 19,000 pesos. And then I had to buy the extra battery that brings it to 22 or 23. Earlier, I was telling you guys that the bank card directed where the YouTube money goes in and these funds are going in. That it rejected twice yesterday to make the purchase, and this just isn't basic. So basically, you put in all your information, the PIN, the address, it's already there. I make big purchases all the time. And but they did the codes and everything to verify. When it's something over 10,000 pesos, then they're verifying. I verified it and it rejected, and I don't want to do it a third time, so now I got to sit with the bank. And let's see, this is Sunday, I won't do it on a Sunday, I'm sure they're available. But the last few times I did, when they rejected one card, they said their system was down. Now the other day, just 3-4 days ago, both bank cards did not work, Metro and PNB. That means, I said, George, that means I think it's MasterCard is the card. I said that means something else is going on. And then here we are again. Welcome to the Philippines. I mean, it's like the money's tied up, and now I've already lost an entire day, and I really need to get the machine. The thing is if I try to go locally, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg, and it's probably not even what I want. They probably got 1 or 2 units at these medical stores in the mall or something, and I don't want to have to pay them double. I don't want to have to deal with, I've already done the research. Me and George did. We went through, because some of the machines are ridiculous here. Some are pulse, some are direct flow, some of them are only at one setting of a 3 or 4. Like, you only can put it at a 4. And it's like, yeah, you're not going to force me to use that, because you usually use the nasal one out and about. You have to be able to adjust it. And so some of them had really bad features, and one of them, it only went up to 35% oxygen, because the portable ones don't do as well. No, this one that we're getting at that cost is a 93 plus 3. It goes up to 5 liters. So we can use a nasal or the mask or something. And so, yeah, it's actually amazing for the money, and it's a reputable company. And it's backed by, we get things through Lazada, so it's through Lazmo. And yeah, so, but yeah, I'm lucky that some things are really inexpensive here comparably. Like this machine would have cost 3-4 times the amount. It's strange YouTube unsubscribed me 2 times. I know I didn't. Yeah, that's another thing, guys. Check to see if you're subscribed, and notifications do help, because when me or George set the lives up, we try to send out what's considered a notification. And we do where we put like, hey, check out this video thing, to make sure you guys know. But for the most part, the lives are on Mondays in the Philippines, Wednesdays, and Fridays now. So I think that is Sunday, and then that would be Tuesday and Thursday. So for the United States, just today, I guess it's Saturday night for you guys. I just wanted to do it because it was Mother's Day, and rest the next few days. Yeah, your ANA has to be positive to have lupus. Yes. If positive, it doesn't mean definitely have lupus, but it's an indicator. That's initially how mine came up. So there was other indicators, and then they go through and they do additional testing. Yeah. Hey, happy Mother's Day. And that's funny. That's the flowers that George got me too. Yeah. Yeah, because I have like allergies. Usually those are probably, so far, those haven't caused me any allergy situation. Hey, Bruce. Yeah, I'm probably behind. Yeah, I am about an hour. Thank you, Bruce. Happy Mother's Day to you and your lovely lady. I think you're asking where's George at. Um, he is still asleep, but I was addressing earlier that, everything is fine. We're still sticking to what we said way before this argument on air. And we've had arguments on air too, probably even worse ones. He's never stormed off like that. But, well, yeah, he actually has. I have. I've actually done it several times over the last 5-6 years. But that he's going to do videos. It's what he loves. He's already out and about. And I'm going to do the lives because it gives me a chance to chat. I do better when he's not around. I'm too hyper to wait for him to explain. Hell, I even got a timer for George, man, to make sure that, I don't know, my patience with him these days, I don't feel good. Like right now, I was like, get out of my way, because sometimes like he'll kick his feet out here and I can't get past him. And I'm just standing there. And I'm like, George, you have to move. And then it takes him like 2-3 minutes. I'm like, George, move. And it's like he doesn't understand. I can't stand. I'm about ready to drop to the ground. And I said, I will kick you. If them cats are in the way, I'm going to kick those damn cats, or Mary, if you don't get out of my way. It's like literally if they block the door, it's like there's only so much of a walkway through here. I said, you have to move. So I do get pissed quicker these days because my pain level is always high. My discomfort levels are always high. And I try to explain that. I said, I don't give a shit who you are or if it's the president. I'm going to scream at him. I said, so get out of my damn way. So, but all in all, he's just not. He may appear on some lives, holidays, birthdays. Right now, he spends a lot of time at the family house. I wasn't lying that he goes over there a lot. He does. He's got additional family that's come from the U.S. He's got, he's got his granddaughter that he spends time with, and his daughter and his uncle. And I'm not going to hold him here. He's always been a free bird. It's just the first time I talked about it. So, nope, he just sleeps in. He stays up all night and games and does all of his stuff. So, no, he's good. Like I said, most of the time we have good times. I was discussing that, after the next live, after all that happened, it's the same as always. Couple hours later, boom, we're doing board games. Couple hours later, it never lasts very long. I've been watching this show called like Fatal Vows. Those are some insane people. But the most couples do go through these situations. Nothing is what it seems on the surface, but we just work it out. So I'm sorry when they realize it will be too late. It's so easy to be kind or just stay quiet, but they have to shout out. Yeah. People need to understand your lupus was diagnosed, approved by Social Security. They have very strict guidelines with many, yeah, and multiple labs and clinical tests. So it's impossible to argue you don't. Well, and it's there. The most recent testing is I have multiple diagnoses. That's not the only one for Social Security. This was approved over 10 years ago. So it's been added, and they do have the testing and everything because we just want to make sure that it's doubled down before we left. But it's not like here lately, they've been obsessed that it's just SSI. Why? Because I've stated that there are a lot of guys here on the free, never paid into, or they had such low income that they did not qualify and they're older, but they're here on it. They still have their checks left in the US. It's bank deposits like that pedophile guy up the street. He was on the low income one. His check was like 700 a month. He admitted to all of this. He deposited in his brother's account in California, and he was living up the street bringing kids in his house all the time. And it was insane, Randy. And the only way we caught it, it was on another channel, a big channel. He went on there saying how he was living on this money. I said, oh yeah, there's no way he is. But when you seen his setup and he was living like in a smaller than a one room hotel room, I was like, yeah, of course, I guess he can if he just gets a piece of chicken every day. And yeah. And then he brought in some 13-year-old girl that he dated and groomed forever. So, anyways, besides the point is you can't live on the low income SSI more than 30 days outside the country. You can't do. I've shown you guys letters showing where I get it here. The government knows where I am. Social Security knows where I am because they're constantly rallying to have both of them done. She's not legally allowed to be here because of her past. She's not allowed to this. Guys, I have been background. I brought stuff with me. It doesn't matter what people are saying. I'm still here. For years, you talk shit, which means they'll just try harder, but it's not happening. Down to trying to get the Go Get Fund Me taken away. They like 2 or 3 reports came in. One was family, and the other one's been at it. They showed me their stuff. They actually sent what was in there because they were like, well, we're going to have to investigate, and we need documents showing that you have a legit business, which George does. He pays taxes, does everything. And speaking of which, it's time for him to go. I'm glad I mentioned that. It's tax time for the quarters. But George is all the way legit, including registered in the Philippines. And it's just amazing. Even after that, after we sent him the documents from the doctor and everything, showing everything, they're like, okay, because they tried to say we were lying about the diagnosis. I have family members that are saying that. They're like, oh, you just don't want to come home. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So it's amazing. It really, really is. But no, you're right. It is in there in the documents. I have a lot of neurological issues that I qualified for. Here's another thing, excuse or not. I'll give you an idea. When I was 3 years old, Mike, I went into some sort of seizures, high fever, and was taken to the hospital. Fever stayed 104 to 106, ice baths. I stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks. What appeared to be like meningitis or something severe. I had to learn to walk, talk, Children's Hospital in Ohio, and it wasn't pretty. After that, I had severe neurological issues, and they diagnosed me at one point just developmental like delays, and they don't know what it was. The closest thing that I can think of, somewhere between the lead paint, my mom raised a bunch of animals, and she used to put things in the bathtub all the time, like alligators and snakes. She had a raccoon, not a raccoon. She had a skunk at one point. Yeah, I can imagine the trolls now. There was actually skunks that she had that were descented. My mom just loved it. Everything got put into these bathtubs. I don't know if something I caught something from the skunk, who knows, or the alligator already joke about, but maybe she didn't clean it out when she put us kids in there, or I just caught something. It's really hard saying, but I've got very severe neurological issues. I ended up truly with ADHD and some hyperactiveness, and I have very severe migraines. I used to get injections every month and would go several times a month. I've been hospitalized. And so, yeah, there's just been different things. But again, people are like, well, why did you come with neurological issues? You know, me having neurological issues, twitches, me dropping shit and being on seizure medications did not mean I couldn't come to the Philippines. Okay. So, coming here, learning about the lupus 6 months to a year before I came. Also, I didn't think my heart would go out. That's not always a so. I had to decide based on financial, the pandemic. It was a now or never because for 2 years shit was locked down. So we left just in enough time. And I'm glad that we actually did. So there's a little bit more information for the people in the trolls. When did this dying arc start? You need O2, but talk in long stretches. Yeah, Hillbilly Pyro. I don't know if you're watching the other channels. That seems to be the consensus. That's not true. Just because that's just it. You don't think I don't talk all day? That's just it. Looks can be deceiving. That's why I said that all these doctors and professionals on traveling and getting out of here and shoulda, coulda, you guys will come up with just as many excuses as you think I am. So when did I miss why you're saying a dying arc? Uh, this was in the last 90 days. And yes, you don't, okay, let me explain about oxygen and why people need it besides COPD or other things. A lot of people don't realize there's different reasons for oxygen. You all watch these shows like ER and all these others, and you see somebody goes in there, and because their stats or they can't breathe, they just throw the oxygen on them just for the hell of it. They don't even check their oxygen stats. Oxygen's given for different reasons, and for the most part, for me, it's 100% different. I am not short of breath because of an asthma like situation. My body, because when the heart stops, I mean, I explain this, the heart stops, you have a heart attack, that's something different. For me, that's not what's going on. I have little to no blood pumping through my body. And by midday and all day, actually, I'm retaining salt and water. I'm in a fluid overload right now. There is a ton of water around my organs, which is causing me to be short of breath. I have a lot of good days and bad days. What I feel is stupid and not on you. And if you're one of them, then this is addressing you. What makes you guys think that because I'm talking, I'm not dying and that it's a lie? That seems to be the consensus of Fred Flintstone and about 4 other channels. She's lying. There is no machine there. They've been shown the machine. So if the people aren't taking a look, they're an idiot. Why would I buy a $300-400 machine and the same with the bed and go through all of that? Why would I sleep in an uncomfortable hospital bed that's metal slate and thin mattress to fit it? That I would do that? It just doesn't make any sense. But the oxygen, You do have to keep an eye on your stats. And over the last 3 months, it's progressively getting worse. So because I'm sitting here, I just don't lay in bed because I'm dying. The stroke level 11 will tell you I can die at any minute. What I'm going through my body right now means it. I'll talk to the fucking day I die. I am not going to lay in bed, which I can't. It's too uncomfortable to do it all day, but I can't sit up here that long. They're like, oh, she did a 5 hour live. She ran her mouth. Yeah. So fucking what? It was a good day, motherfuckers. And what? So being able to talk in the O2 situation is something totally different. And I get people are curious. That may be what you're curious about. If I take the oxygen off, I probably won't be able to talk. I've probably only been on here for a half hour. So it's because I have the oxygen on that's actually helping. Now, I did go into an argument when this all first started because I didn't have the oxygen on, or people were saying that I forgot what it was. Well, the day that the machine went out and I had to get the replacement because people could hear the motor going out, so there was proof of that. During the live stream, it happened. People were like, she went a few hours during her live stream and she didn't have her oxygen on that day. That means she is lying." Well, no. I go out and about all the time because I don't have a machine. I go out for a few hours at a time, so it doesn't mean that I'm not sick. And if that is your thinking or the others' thinkings, they weren't sympathetic, understanding, or have real medical knowledge, or couldn't even AI the right shit. They're just being weird. They're just being, I wouldn't even call it hateful, just an idiot. You can still be dying and not wear oxygen. That's on me if I sit here and talk. I was saying in the beginning that I get so full of adrenaline, okay, and I pretty much fall asleep all day. Pretty sad to think this is the highlight of my day today, and it is. I want to inform. I want to taunt. I want to irritate the fucking trolls. I want them to use my fucking words. I want them to make shit up about me. Go ahead. Go ahead. Again, Hillbilly, I don't think you're addressing. If you want to come through and say something else additional, but that's the same thing that they're saying. Yeah. I didn't always say I sat here with blue lips or whatever, but it has done it during the live. So, and the oxygen's up higher than it normally is. So, good days and bad days, even with a reading of 75 and 90, it fluctuates. It can go up to 98 too when I'm on oxygen. I have harder times at night. Do you know why I have a harder time at night? Besides still being partially elevated like I'm supposed to, my body fills up more and more with water throughout the day. The water seems to, you're peeing it out and you're doing all the things. The further in your day that you get, the more fluid that's being retained and the harder it gets and the more bloated. So by the end of the evening, it does seem like my size has doubled. So it is not even a joke at the, point. For those that have seen me in videos just a year ago, this is not the same person in the face and even body style. I was always a big bitch. You guys have seen me, but it's clear in the face and everything. I chubby cheeks and stuff, and I'm big to begin with, but yeah, I'm on high anxiety. I never used to do 2 and 3 hour live streams since I've been sick, but now, yeah. And then the other day I was pissed at George. I went on for 5 hours. Sure the fuck did, man. But it's not an indicator of illness. So, but yeah, you're right. You ain't wrong about that. Shout out Heidi. What's going on, Black Grandpa? What is going on? And I say hi to Laura. What is going on, Heidi? If your oxygen is that dangerously low, would you consider dying trying to get to the U.S.? It was. It was a thought. I mentioned it on the last live stream, and I have thought about it. I told George it's like plan C. Until you get to the point like when my arm got dislocated, or like that day that I was entirely bleeding out here from a nosebleed, you guys have no idea what you would actually do. But honestly, I did balance this, and I'll repeat this again. When I start thinking about this again, I said it's the other things that would say no. There's too many other things going on. So in a desperation, the problem is we're talking 50-50 or less that I would survive it. Then when I get there, it's going to I just can't see it. If I am in a pain level of 9 just going to the bathroom and I'm risking a blood clot situation, I'd rather live 6 more months or 3 more months like I am now than to go home. Then the other situation, and I'll keep mentioning this. People are like, oh, see, she admitted she doesn't want to go home. Yeah, I can't afford to live in America no more. At least I'm admitting that. I want to live here where my husband is and where my pets are. So factor in that situation. You know, I not only can I not go, and all 3 specialists have said no, I know the pain levels I'm in and how bad it gets to actually consider going home. And I've already accepted that there's a good chance I won't even get the money. I mentioned this earlier in the whatever. So really, I am just actually in a standby mode right now, waiting for a miracle. So, no, I can't see going back just to have this all done, to be there in America forever, either living under my kids' thumbs or having little to no money, like basically almost homeless, to go back and fix my health issue. I got to factor in that way on the side. Again, that's not the full answer. I can't go back because I just won't make it. But let's say I just risk it. And I said that the last time. What if I just get on the airplane? I don't tell them I'm sick. I fake it all the way through, although I'm bent over and dragging my feet and look half dead when I'm out in public. They're going to know something. But let's say I just fake it all the way through. It's just not, by the time I get to America and I'm half dead, I'm like, okay, I made it and all this. Then what? Then what? Just like people said, you don't want to sleep on somebody's couch. Most people do not have the money to return. And if so, that is my fault. Somebody the other day was like, left a comment. They were like, oh, well, Heidi said this, and that. It's because she can't afford it. Also, yeah, no fucking shit, man. Who the fuck is affording America right now? So, yeah. No, it's imminent. I'm already accepting that I'll probably be dead by this summer. It was supposed to be day to day. Even the doctor was like, I wouldn't say disappointed. He was like, oh, you're here? And it's like, and it's exactly what he meant. So I'm actually a walking miracle situation right now. So, oh, I'm sure he will eventually. I wish George would come on. It's just not his thing anymore. And I really mean that. The interest is gone. No one channel stays in the same format very long or always together on there, or and it just causing too much strain for the both of us. We had to agree to do one or the other to keep everything together. And he has his own shit going on. George has become a total different person in the last 2 years, easy. So I'm not going to force him. I'm tired of asking him. I'm tired of waking him up when he doesn't want to be here. There's times he does and doesn't. He doesn't really want to participate, and this will probably piss him off to even state this. So unfortunately, he cares. It's got to be when he's ready. So do I expect him to appear again? Yeah, sure, I'm sure. But I don't know when. So he is still owner of the channel. He's still producing content. He still goes through and answers comments. He's still active, and it is his channel. Because someone asked me the other day about me paying taxes and taking over the full channel. I think it was during a live. And it's like, no, it's not in my name. I'm not paying taxes. It's not happening. The only thing that's different is every bit of fund goes directly into the medical fund, which is Metro Bank. It's all in one account, including the PayPal. It's always been in there. But yeah. George, you got to do your taxes. People make terrible assumptions. Yeah, about size. Always is the issue. So I will talk about him because he's watching. I'm not going to. He wants to know who the Ladyboy lover is. He knows who he is. Actually, there are several of them that are vloggers, but yeah, he knows who he is, and he doesn't care. Probably as much as I don't care. He talks about my size. So it is what it is, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that. You love who you love. I'm not making fun of the lady boys either. I'm just saying, for somebody that talks about being straight or being the man's man, and then that's what he's doing, it's kind of weird. The same with him e-begging, the same with him being broke. He's like, "Oh, I got all this money. Look at me traveling the world." Bullshit. You're just all kinds of fucked up. Hey, what's going on, Sperlin World? But I'm not going to say his name, that's for sure. He has no problem saying our names, but he makes it like all of our people are just running over there. And it's like, yeah, the answer is no. It's because you're attaching yourself to our name. So you're tagging and doing everything else to bring people over there. Good luck for you. You said Jelly Belly and jelly beans. I live near the factory. They have the best chocolate. Yeah, jelly beans are good. Yeah, we called her Jelly Belly and Jelly Bean, but I started calling her Beignet because she's like a white powdered donut. It's like a so being she's so light. So many autoimmune and viruses induce diseases. Look what's happening to the strange. Yeah, of all the different cancers, everything's causing. Hell, it could be me. Hell, the lupus could have came from me. You know how bad plastic bottles are? They convinced us to start drinking them. There's so much manipulation. It's unreal. And if you start watching, like they're playing a lot of stuff on YouTube now of like the Mennonites or the people that live off the land and stuff, they're right. The government has manipulated us in so many ways. People used to create their own fresh water and filtering, and then they it's just there's so much manipulation. But drinking out of the plastic bottles is really bad for us. That could be the reason. So if you want to say, hey, Heidi's drinking out of a plastic bottle, that created her skin cancer and caused her lupus and heart conditions, okay, then say fucking that, doctor. But to sit there and say, she's fat, she caused her own issue, she has no self control, nor did she ever work in her life. Like, literally, these dudes are going in and putting my name and information. They're getting background checks on me, okay? And they're coming up with the only job I ever had was Uber from the very beginning. Or how could I have been a nurse at one point and had multiple careers over a 30 something year span? She talked about she did this and that. Okay, doctor, I couldn't work the job for 6 months or 3 years, or and then they pick on George's careers. But the weird part is that they're paying for background checks and claiming stuff out loud. And it's like, you want people to believe you over that shit? It's weird. Yeah, the only job that I ever had in my entire life was in 2010. That was it. Ah, Jesus Christ. It's like they try to play detective. They have all the information. Yeah, the jelly bellies are pretty good. Well, there be another topic today. The thumbnail pretty much said it there, CDL. I maybe you were not in on the beginning, so I've been talking about things on the side and answering questions. So yes, this is it. And it if it continues or other stuff comes up, but it seemed like a good one for me today. Hydrochloroquine is the gold standard. Yeah, that's the one I'm getting. So it's one of the three. So yeah, people need to understand that the water retention on the cellular level, yeah, not free fluid called ascites. This will be covered tomorrow. Well, here's the thing. I have ascites and it's into my cells. That's what's causing the blisters. So I had no medical. It's not my full specialty to know all of this. Never claimed, and I haven't done any updating since the 90s on anything. So it's not like I just sit around active or have all the information. All I know is I do have that. My stomach is always bloated. I'm always under pressure in my stomach. And there is a cellular level because it is pushing against, if that's what you're talking about, like the whatever, but I'm ending up with blisters. I don't know if that's part of ascites, but I was told by the doctor that it was based on how much fluid's in my body. So I have fluid overload right now. There's just tons of water on me. And like when I wake up in the morning, when you lay down, it like moves around, like from the legs to the stomach. But here, like right now, my stomach is still half hard right now. But another couple hours, no matter what I eat and drink, even a small amount, my stomach will be rock hard and it'll become harder to breathe. So, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's possible to have both. but I know that they're saying it's moving in my body. And now, because of the how the blood is flowing little to none versus the water in my body and what it's doing, it's dry. Like my skin is drying out, my hair is falling out. Um, I'm getting breakdown in my legs. I'm still in danger of getting an infection in my leg because I have fluid leaking out of my legs. Now that stopped 2 or 3 days ago. It's happening now several times a month. I have fluid and blood in the bed. So it's trying to get out. So I'm on all kinds of different levels. And then people are like, oh, she's fine. No, not at this level. I'm not. The doctor told me on Monday, go to the hospital. You need to be admitted and you need to be there to get all the fluid out of you. You're sick. You need to go in there. And he's telling me all he can do is to do the stents or open heart surgery. That's the level I'm at, or I'm dying. So right now, can't afford it. So I'm just actively dealing with all the side effects, Mike. It just still blows my mind because sometimes I'm walking through here and I'm like, wow, this is, you can't be at this level and make this shit up. I've even shown it, in a video where it was on my bed and stuff. George was helping with the band-aid on my leg. No, if it gets that bad, it's bad. This is my heart going out. So Fred Flintstone, yeah, he knows who he is. Yeah, here's our, yeah, it's called moderation, dude. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Sure. Moderation on everything. Yeah, you guys talking about, hey, what's going on, Harry? Yeah, so how horrible is it to have to prove truth to be called names? It was weird. He went into calling the guy a Spanish racist name just based on, well, how do you know her? The other person was attacking. It wasn't one of our regulars. It was just somebody questioning him because it seemed like a lot of made up stuff. It's wild. And then he just immediately went nasty. And then he went into saying something. He used Trump's name, so he's pro Trump. And he says you're probably one of those other people that aren't pro Trump. It was like crazy. I said, so the guy was pro Trump that was attacking. He was calling the guy racist. He just showed the side of what's going on in America right now. I'm like, wow. So not only did you attack, it was weird. It went from zero to, let's see, I sent it to George because I was like, wow, they're fighting on the other channel. And I was like, it was insane. I said, that escalated quick, man. We both started laughing. And I'm like, the guy immediately attacked based on everything. And I like to have a good laugh on Republicans and Democrats and these dumbasses in these troll rooms. And I enjoy the trollish shit. I enjoy drama. A lot of people do. They want to see what's going on and everything. But there's a level of when you start just becoming so nasty, it's like, who hurt you? Yeah, here it is. How do you know so much about her? The idiot came back and says, I'm not your bro, never will be. Just watch the fucking channel, bro. And he came back right after when this other person didn't say anything. He said his name. Oh, that name sounds Spanish, he says. Sounds like Trump needs to deport your ass. Immediately came in and said this based on me. And it's like not our channel, it was somebody else's channel. And he turned around and called him a Hispanic racist name. And I'm like, God damn. So these are the people that are doubting my illness, which I don't need them to doubt it. I'm living through it, and true supporters would support me even if I was lying, even if they thought I was scamming, or they would just know it. But these idiots are living on a few people, especially this one idiot. They believe him on everything. He's 100% making stuff up. And these guys are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like you're rallying around that, but it's cult like shit, just like in America right now. It's racist shit. It's isolating shit. And it's like, at least I know who I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a bunch of idiots. But I was like, damn. George's like, yeah, that escalated pretty quick. And it's like they're hot headed from the beginning. It's insane. No, they don't have debtor's jail. And that's all they go on the other channel is that I'm wanted for past rent, which I'm not. I lived at my father's apartment on his property for 10 years. I don't owe him money. And the other part of it is that, and that's exactly where I was living when I left. Me and George had just been married. I had my apartment. We had separate locations when we got married. And so that's where I was 100%. And then the other part is they're claiming it's over credit cards. And I might have a bill or two, but it maybe a few $100s. I don't even know. I didn't look it up, didn't get no notifications. I've moved on. I think it's been exactly 7 years since that situation. So I'm not going to jail now. If they go to court and they do a bench warrant, then maybe or something, but that's a reason for me not to go back. That would be the least of my worries to go back. If I don't die, if I don't go through pain and drop on the ground dead, and then I make it back and I'm homeless, I can go homeless, or like I said, I'll sit in prison, guys. I'll commit a crime to go to prison and I'll sit there and have my medical. And I actually thought about all that. So it's not that I'm not actually thinking, there's always a way, bitches. But a credit card? No. I'm just going to get 3 hots and a cot and a meal if it's fucking over that. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I will sit up in there for years and smile if I'm getting free rent in America right now. I mean, I don't want to die either, but I'm not going to risk all that when I already have this going on and I could live another few months. Like right now, I've already lived 3 months. If I had to risk my life a few months ago and left, there's a good chance I would have died. So I'm not taking that chance. I'd rather stay here and go with what I'm feeling. And I know I can't do that trip and what my doctors are saying because every day I'm living with that. My legs are leaking. The sores on my body. I'm going through congestive heart failure stage. I think it's stage D. That's it. I'm at the very last stages. I woke up with a oxygen level of 75 at 11 o'clock and further through the morning, like somewhere around 1 o'clock. So I'm not sleeping, and it is what it is for sure. Yeah, it's a systematic lupus. It wasn't congenital. I wasn't born with it. But here's the other thing. When I asked the rheumatologist, did it have anything to do with the high fever and being sick and in the hospital for almost 2 weeks as a child at around 3 years old? It's a possibility. The whole immune system could have been destroyed. Could have been my mom not cleaning the bathtub with the animals in it, mostly the alligator, and I think there was a snake or something she used to put in there. So let's blame it on my mother too, or another excuse for the boys. Let's chuck it up. Wow, you're a medical train wreck. I am now. I mean, I had issues and I've had them, but believe me, I've heard worse. There was a guy that was here that had a bunch of heart issues and on a ton of medication, slowed down on him, and his leg, like circulation, and he had diabetes. I don't have diabetes on top of it. And so a lot of people, like the doctor, he wanted to make sure I'm not diabetic. You sure you're not? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm big and because I like sweets, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But of course, nothing showed up on that. So I'm not diabetic, but this guy did. He lost both of his legs, went back to the US and he's lost his legs. So yeah, the trolls don't care the truth. No, they want to stir up, they want to feel better about themselves, and everything they're saying about me is going on with them. So they're professionals. That is the truth. That's just not a whatever, because they always have the answers too. So they're professionals at what I'm going through. So they're just giving their advice, and that's fine. So yeah, truth hurts for me or for them. So we're all bums, man. We just are. It's all to deflect from certain files being made in public. True story. Bookham and Panay is in the house. When George says anything can happen, that's why when you come to a third world country unprepared financially and have emergency plans, yep, that is for sure. That is for sure. I just saw a video where a 25-year-old man died from liver failure. Yeah, it's like the heart too. It starts from children on up to old people. You're not guaranteed anything after 40. And sometimes I feel the healthier they are and they're exercising all the time, they're wearing their hearts down. So that is for sure. Hey, what's going on? Roger Walker is in the house. Yeah, life is short. Yep, you never know. I mean, like I said, if I was in my 30s or 40s, I'd probably be struggling a little bit more to get through this. I'm at the point where I'm just like, hey, what's going to happen is going to happen. But I'm 55 in July. With all these medical conditions, mm-mm. And like I said, I'll still need more heart stuff. It is what it is. I still am going to need the valve replacement. So I'm still going to have open heart surgery, which I do not want to have and probably will not have. But who knows? That is something that's way down the road. So, and they said there's more than likely I won't survive it. That's where the weight and my lupus and the current heart issues will kill me, anyways. And of course, I would actively, if I get the stents and everything and I'm already cutting back on stuff, yeah, I'll lose weight before I have this next surgery. Not a problem. But we're way down the road. Nope, I can only do one day at a time. Why do you get your flowers? You're not his mother. Because he's a good husband. A lot of husbands get get their wives flowers. So I'm still the stepmother to his daughter. Ha! Booyah! And his other daughters. So I'm still their stepmother. So why not? So, but I am a mother and he's being sweet. He's not always like on attack like I am. So yeah, they're pretty. Now, my dad said that stuff, but I just felt my dad was being a jerk. I mean, I truly mean that because my dad used to say that to her. And the thing is my stepmom, she would see other people, like they'd go to her sister's house. Their husbands were buying him stuff for Mother's Day and at work and shit. And then that was his answer every year. You're not my mother. So I was like, damn. So it is what it is. Either people do it. Anybody else buy stuff for their wife for Mother's Day? I feel it's more common than not. When my mother was still with us, she had oxygen machine was on 5. She had OCPD and other conditions. It's Mother's Day to celebrate mothers versus your own mother. Yeah, it's the way we celebrate mothers. Yeah, it's all mothers, just not your own mother. So, I mean, it's common, but you have to be careful you are not getting oxygen saturation. It can be addictive. No, that's what I was saying. People don't realize I do have to watch it. And probably even a month ago, or even my last visit, it's just getting persistently worse. I'd never dipped below like I did. Never went even below 80. So it's been at 80 and 75. So the doctor says you're going to need to have a machine with you. So, it's not going to like reverse back. In other words, I'm not going to just miraculously get better from this situation. And I do keep an eye on it. So I've been checking, like he said, I've already had a call with him as of yesterday. And um, the I keep an eye on it, and when I take it off, it drops. So the highest it'll get, like I said, maybe 98, possibly it'll hit 99. And that's after it's been on for a while. Drop down to 90, 93, 98. It just changes whether I'm sitting. The machine and the cord will go from the bed to the couch. So when I get up and do that, same thing, it moves and fluctuates a bunch. So my train of thought again just went off. So I have to keep checking. But when I test it, he said, test it and take off the oxygen. Yeah, it drops down to 90 again. You can't have it doing that. They consider me at low hypoxemia when I was under 94, I think, or 95. The alarm was going off at the because they have an alarm set on theirs. And so, yeah, it's mild. It won't kill you, but when I go on oxygen, it doesn't really go that high. I take it off, it totally drops. So now that my heart is getting weaker by the moment, yeah, I have to keep it on all the time now. I'm only doing myself harm by not having it on. So, and not purchasing this portable one as soon as the damn bank puts this shit through. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Mike and Venus is in the house. I like talking about the haters. It just gives me an opportunity because here's the truth. Me ranting and being honest and letting the people that want to know or the trolls know is bringing numbers. It's just where it is. And honestly, if people don't want to watch and they get tired of it, then they will. I could be gone in another week. I could be gone in a few more days. So I really don't care if people don't want to watch it. It's not all the content. Somehow it gets in there, but unfortunately, I'm dying, actively dying, and sick all the time. I'm going to talk about it. It's just where it is. I'm going to talk about the dumbass trolls, even if it is content. People come to the Philippines, a third world country, and not prepared financially and have emergency plans. That is stupidity. It's just unbelievable. Yep, that's been but it's not always the gold standard. That's your gold standard. I'm sorry, not everybody has all of that. And it's not an intention for most expats coming here. And I wouldn't discourage people from coming here, even in my condition. We came with a substantial amount of money. We have an income every month. We have additional money. We have family that's here that has some backings. I mean, I wouldn't call them billionaires here, but we have all the above, including my husband being Filipino. Yeah, we fell through. I don't have $60,000 anymore. Initially, when we left, that's about what we had, but we spent a shitload. Our plane tickets cost way more during the pandemic. When we got here, furnishing and getting ourselves set up cost way more than people said. They lied about that shit. It was way more expensive. And there was shit that happened in the United States where we helped some family. So the point is we don't have that money no more. Money disappears and happens to most people. Plans fall through. So book them. You've said this over and over again, and I'm going to reiterate. If people want to come here, and it's a shithole in America with what's going on financially, and they don't want to spend $80 to $100 filling up their cars and $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment, and they're spending $200 a month on cell phone service, cable, and internet, they can come here. I am not going to tell people these days to sit there and be financially broke and stressed and nasty people over there, unable to date or find somebody decent. They need to live their life and come here. It is your comments like this is fine. And people should do some research, but it's not going to prevent shit from happening. And not everybody has that perfect plan. Even perfect plans fall through. And if they're going to wait to save up, you would need, if you're trying to be whatever, you would need $500,000 US just to, to be able to pull through and say nothing's going to happen. So unfortunately, I would tell people to come anyways. People are coming here and never have an issue, never end up in the hospital with just a residual income. And then you got other people, okay, as far as no income each month, and they don't even have savings that have lived here for 30 years plus. They've made their way, okay? But as long as nothing happens, and of course, they're not on anybody's radar. So, but I would still tell people to come now. It's a different world than it was when I came here 5 years ago. People need to come. They need to get the fuck out of what's going on in their countries. They need to find what makes them happy. The hillbilly dude is so dumb. It's not healthy to stay in bed all day in her condition. Oh, did I miss a comment? I must have missed a comment that got withdrawn because I didn't see that one. Unless you're talking about somebody else that's been talking, but that's just it. That's another thing I've been talking about is people's statements. They told me I need to get out and exercise every day, like literally go for a 2-3 mile walk, and that I need to. They have all kinds of stuff that I need to do this and that. No, I'm not. I am not going out and going to walk when I can barely get to my bathroom, and that's not why. It is congestive heart failure. You try having it. It's not happening. But they've never been in the position, so they don't know. And the other side of it is that what do you want me to do considering the amount of swelling and I can barely move? I can't sit up. That's the same as the airplane. Even if I got a pod and it cost me $6,000 to make it back and I had to get a whatever business class thing, I can't lay that flat down. I'd have to have 9 pillows. Where am I going to come up with 9 pillows to sit more up but I can't totally sit up. And I can't, people are telling me to get on a ship. They told me that I need to get a medical vac and I should. Who the fuck is bringing 150 to 200,000 in their bank? If that is you, then good for you. Then I question, why are you the fuck in the Philippines? Just don't say it's your woman and you were just wanting to live on a tropical island. There are different reasons. Same with me. It just wasn't one reason. It was multiple reasons that we came here. And it wasn't going to stop me. So, no, it's not healthy. You're right. And I don't. You're not here. Matter of fact, George tells me to stay down because about every hour I jump up. But like me sitting up here, now y'all going to say that Heidi's been sitting up for 3 hours or she was sitting up and talking for 5 hours. It's making her sick. It's not true. It's not going to change anything and it's not going to change any facts. So you would be on hospice. Yes, of course I would. At this point, but right now I'm in full restraint. Do you know what it's like? And I didn't break down and cry the other day about the doctor said go. I know I need to go. Do you know what that's like to actually have? I could actually just break all rules and just go into the hospital. I've got enough for a deposit. They'll probably do most and everything. But I know I'm not leaving. There's a good chance I could die during all this. I'm not leaving George with that bill. And I'm not going to get a loan to repay double what I'm making a month. It is a ridiculous amount to get that money. I'm not paying $4,000 a month to pay this stuff back. I don't have that kind of money. We've looked into every possibility and it's bad because in America we would just go in. Everybody has that option to at least show up at the emergency room, at least go in. If I'd have done this, yeah, it's going to be a few times a year that this would be done, but they would go ahead and do the stents and everything because I know and the doctor knows the moment they get in based on the last scan of my heart, they need stents, if not multiples, if not open heart surgery, but I can't. I just can't. Here I'm actually stuck. And that's the whole ideal of me talking about this over and over again. Because it ain't about the money. Y'all ain't doing that. This money has slowed down like all get out. Only the true people, like somebody the other day, a guy had sent $75. It was random. And it was like, you guys can see that on the GoFunding. Let's see. And it was like, you can clearly see because we get the stickers, but understand we lose 30 or 40% of the stickers sometimes. So this comes directly in. Yeah, it's a total of 3,600 and that's not even taxes. And they do take money out. That all gets taken out. Okay, so on May 9th, so somebody did. There was a 25. That was yesterday because I've been asleep and everything. And then, yes, a random person did 75. And then Victoria was April 24th. That was the previous one. People think they're like, oh, Heidi's making a ton of money and she's using it for this. And it's like, people aren't even trying. They're not trying because we are not swamping in on the PayPal and stuff. So this is all just going to come to a halt. But it is difficult. And I cause my own misery. You can live in my misery. You know, there she is whining, but she's broke and stupid and fat. She did it to herself. Ha ha ha. You know what it is when people say that stuff? It's because they don't know how else to act. Like I said, when people see sick kids in a wheelchair, they don't know how to act. So they either inappropriately laugh too much or they stare too much or they go off like these, like Fred Flintstone and these other channels and make fun because they don't understand. They don't want to understand. They're hurt about something. It reminds them something of their childhood. And usually what they're seeing or the things they're bitching about is what's going on in their own life almost every time. Almost every time. Oh, and let's add in, don't forget, I've still got this cat bite. For those that didn't see me in all my glory, I got bit by a cat over a week ago, which by the way, we're on day 9. He's still eating this morning. So I'm good. There's no rabies. But I had to have the tetanus and I am on antibiotics and I now am doing an iodine and Epsom salt soap so I don't get infected. But it is irritated. It's not oozing or anything and it's healing. But because of the circulation issues, because of my heart and because of the medications I'm on, it could be weeks before this heals. So now every day, 3 times a day, I have to soak this for 30 minutes like I did the spider bite. and it draws out, like the toxins, and it does all kinds of things. That's all I can explain is it's really good. So again, they want me, when the heart doctor's seeing that, he says, you need to go in, and also they'll take care of that. That needs to be taken care of in the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not paying them for therapy and bath therapy to soak it and everything. You guys have no idea, like, the situation and everything. But yeah, I'm now dealing with a half infected leg right now on top of that. So, karma, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's for picking on channels and picking on people and George, and that I'm such a bad person. So, a cameo appearance, right? Yeah, she would qualify for, yeah, life would be much worse than right now. Hey, what's going on, Ronald? Ma'am Heidi, unless it's absolutely necessary, I would not recommend returning to the US. Well, that's what everybody's saying. And I'm not going to hide and say, oh my God, I can't make it back because my doctor said not to. Now, if I kept it at that, that would be one thing. One doctor. That is a heart, that is a rheumatologist, that is a pulmonary specialist. Okay. And it's just not happening. And then when I came back with, well, I can't keep the excuses came in when I said, okay, first off, I won't be able to keep oxygen the whole time like I needed. And the trip would bother me. And I came up with my regular stuff before the heart situation. And they were like, oh, these are all excuses. She doesn't want to go back. And it's like, well, I really don't want to motherfucking go back. And I said that. You think I want to go back and pay 7 times the amount for everything, be super broke? At least here I can afford things and deal with, the medical system is not perfect there either. The roads are all fucked up. Them roads before I left were fucked up. You guys ever been through Texas? It's horrible. So I'm sorry, it is not what it is anymore. In the last 5, 6 years, it's changed. No, nobody does. So right now, based on can't, won't, and don't, I'm not going back. I would rather live like I have already. I've already lived 90 days, longer than they thought I would. Why? Because I'm not getting the stents they told me to, because I can't afford them. And I'm going to keep talking about it, and it may be the next 20 live streams. So it's just where it is. Hey, good morning, Victoria. What's going on? How are you? That wasn't an odd statement to say, oh, okay, you guys are. Things are just weird now in America. I'm sorry. Initially, me and George shut up. We would start to talk about the Trump administration. Then we were like, hey, we don't really have a problem. And technically, we don't. Then the pedo thing came up. And then they were like, oh, he's just being, attacked and false this and the Charlie Kirk. And we kind of went along with it. And it's like, yeah, we're not taking sides. And people are like, no, they are taking sides. They're liberals. And we're neither, man. But wake up to what's going on right now. There's so many different things going on, and the amount of money and corruption that's pouring into his family right now. And you'll say, oh, well, so did, Obama, and so did, I'm sorry, they're all bad. They're all bad. None of one of them's good, but which one has been this obvious? Old heads, new heads, book writers, people from colleges, like professors. It doesn't matter. There are people that can see this, what's going on, and they're talking about. They never would have talked about it before. When you got professionals that are in politics, I mean, it's just unreal what's going on. Then take into consideration the over amount of immigration, where people are being attacked, and the overflow where they let a bunch of people in. Previous administration, you got all the crime, the fentanyl. They're not cleaning up the streets. They're not. The homelessness has gotten worse because it costs. The cost of groceries is astronomical, like insane, crazy for anything anymore. It's the whole America has fallen apart. The guy tried to, on that talk show the other day, said something about America's the greatest place or something, and it is the dream. And he's like, says who? Nobody wants to go to America. He flat out told the guy that was on Trump that was from the administration. He goes, who? Who wants to go there? You guys are saying people want to go there. It's the hottest country. I'm sorry. I love my country, but there's something's wrong right now. I'd be an idiot to say it's not 50% of the reason why I wouldn't go back. I didn't have any plan. I'd rather die here with my husband and cats, even if it's tomorrow. If I didn't worry so much about it, I'd have took the bill and my ass would have been in AUF. They'll take me with a $20,000 deposit. They'll handle everything. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm not going to end up with a 60 plus debt. If not, I need open heart surgery. It'll get worse. Then it goes to 120,000. Where would I get that money? I'm not. I'm sorry. I will take one day at a time. If it's my time, sweet Jesus, it's my time. Hey, what's going on, Lucka? I'm getting one. I attempted it yesterday. Every time I show you, I'll put something up on the bulletin like I did the last time on the meds and everything. It rejected twice yesterday, mid afternoon, and I tried later at 4 or 5 o'clock. Something's going on with Metro Bank or the debit cards. I don't know if it's a busy weekend because of Mother's Day, because people like everything's been delayed, longer, more expensive. It's just where it is. So I think it's just the system's tied up. The internet went down several times. The power went off yesterday for 5-10 minutes, and so I'm assuming there's something going on with the bank. So somewhere around 22,000, I'll have up to 8 hours, and I'm going to have to start wearing it. When I go outside, I'm outside for 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes. If George isn't here, then it's me out there. Where I take care of the animals outside. When I leave the bed and I'm not near the machine, I'm going to have to start wearing it because it's dropping to 75. It's just too much. It's too much at this point. It's causing more damage to my heart and that. And I could be dead in 3 days anyways. I told George I didn't want to invest the money. I wasn't going to do it. And I didn't feel it was, if we were out for a few hours, I felt it was fine. But now the doctor said, no, you're getting worse. You need it all the time. So now, based on my daughter, on my doctor, not the trolls saying I should have been on it the last time I was out, or I shouldn't have been without it during the live, AKA the machine went out and I had to order one. The proper one had to be ordered. It took 3 days. Yeah, would you like to know I didn't have no oxygen for 3 days on that shit, bitches? Oh, look, she's lying. She's still alive. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, some people it's really quick. It really is. It's just wild. I told George, I'm sure this will drag out. I mean, because like if you go by like a max time, what he thought, he said maybe a year, maybe. But I've already legs are leaking. I'm getting blisters. I'm nauseous all the time. My oxygen's crazy throughout the day with the oxygen on. I wish I would just hear him say, like they did in the beginning, days to 6 months to a year, maybe. And when I announce that, that's what I'm being told. And so, yeah, it's insane. So it always does go quick. Nope, there is no such thing. And the same person comes here, like George said, if we said one thing, what's his name? Bookham will come in and say the opposite, or it's the way he is. I'm sorry, I disagree. Every time he comes in, and it's almost the same statement with him on being prepared, and should have had a better plan. And I get that he's telling people. I'm the only reason I'm going through is that, it is telling people you should. But that had been Heidi 5 years ago. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Get the fuck out of your country. Costs are going up. And I'm telling you what, with this shit going on in Iran, let me get a little political. We are now fucked everywhere. We are fucked, like Bloomberg and these other channels. And you'll say, oh, well, this one's Republican, this is Democrat. No, it's all the fucking ones that mattered in the 90s. It fucking matters now. Okay? Shit is going downhill. The next crops are in trouble. The food's going up. The food is disappearing. For every day that they don't get this going, we're talking a week or two of problems. And they're like, well, this is going to affect us for the next year, maybe two. And then the other guy's like, no, it's going to be longer. For every day and every year we get behind, you got to add more time to it. We are going to be paying $20 for a tomato. Or if you have one at all, like that one movie that George talks about, there may not be anything at all. It'll be down to where there is. If you get a tomato, you'll be lucky. So They used to order a bunch of food. The food security was coming from America. They killed and canceled a bunch of orders recently for other countries. So that's gone. There's nobody picking crops. There's no one doing crops. Here, they can't afford to do crops. India's already on, a bunch of shit. So, in other words, we're fucked. Gas prices, food disappearing, everything. And there is not one person prepared except for Bookham and Panay. I'll be honest with you, they've always gone on like they've got everything going on. So the only one that's going to survive this, because every time we talk about the gas, oh, it was like that back then. It's not that bad. Or, that's fine. So the only one prepared is for that. All the rest of you, hold your fucking nuts and hold on for that fucking ride. I'm glad I won't be here. Do you bitches ever think about the only lucky motherfucker here is me? I'm Fred Flintstone. I'm the lucky one. So it's better that I didn't cancel out in another 5 years or 10 years. I don't want to have the open heart surgery. I don't want to have to go through my skin cancer that I'm going through right now. I don't want the treatment for it. I don't want to deal with any of that. So when I die from now to the end of the year or tomorrow, I'll avoid all this shit, including the gas prices and a $50 cheeseburger and a $10 donut and a trip to the movies at $49 just for one seat. Y'all are dumbasses for some of the shit that people are paying for right now. And I'm not going to be around for that shit. So I'm the lucky motherfucker. You guys ever think about that? But there is no prepared for it. We had more money than I've had in one setting. We had everything, including insurance for a while. But the sicker I got, it was harder to get a decent price. They're not, the lupus and the neurological issues were going to be an impossible at that point, but they weren't the ones causing me to actually pass away. So the whole point is we were prepared with a monthly income. We've kept all of that shit. We can't afford a high amount at this point. We did not expect this to happen. Nobody's prepared all the time. And I wouldn't sit in misery in your country, whether it's you being alone, whether you're looking for the companionship of a cool Filipina, whether it is you like right now, I pay less than $10 a month for my cell phone. And that's a lot of data and everything. $10. When we left, it was $100 just for my phone. Sorry, that's just where it is. It's just amazing the price difference, including rent. And I don't have to stress. I stress over the fucking other shit here. So it's nothing compared to what's going on in America. Nothing. Or other countries right now. And shit, who knows if whatever's going to be going on anyways. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. It's the same people, Laura. By the way, you got to understand, it's weird that I keep seeing the same accounts changing names are exactly 12 years or 13. Like there's only so many accounts that are exactly a 12, 13, or 14. They're never 18. They're never just 6, 7, or 9. Same ones. What it is when they get blocked, they change the name. They're not blocking. It should be the name that they're doing. Also, they create other accounts and they keep creating, but you're fighting about 3 people. We've had them since the beginning. I don't know their purpose besides just putting it in there and they're like, oh, we pissed her off, or she's answered us out loud, or she slipped, like they used to try to do to Mark Thornton. They used to attack him. Same people that were after MYK, same people after Mark Thornton, the same people talking shit in other channels, these other 2 channels. Actually, it's 3. They're the same people. It's them. Same trolls. They're not just making people think it's random people and they're hating. It's the same people, man. So, well, the confusion is they think I won't go home. So therefore, Heidi doesn't need the money, so don't ask for it. That's also making her a scammer. So that's my partial problem with it is I don't want to, but I've explained. But I would be blue in the face, literally, to even make people understand. It's like, oh, what an excuse. Yeah, we know what side you're falling on. You ain't leading me into no motherfucking cult to pay $50 for a fucking tomato. Or fucking over 1,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. I ain't fucking gonna do it. To save my life, I am willing to come back down to committing a crime and going into jail if that's what it has to be. But why the fuck should I have to do that when I can sit here for the next 3 months, order my pizza and donuts on your dime, and fucking and do that? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to live long anyways. I still need open heart surgery. I still do. I don't think I'm going to go through that because they already said you probably won't survive. I'm sorry. I already know that I'm terminal in multiple ways. This here is just going to eat through my face and kill me anyways. This isn't a keep shaving off. No, it's going down to into the muscle. That's it. The same with the skin cancer. I can keep getting treatments on it, but why would I go get that right now with the other issues? So the whole point is yes, I'm a walking shithole right now. So don't expect me to say, hey, I just won't go back to America, or, it's all of this and scamming for the dime. It's a story in itself. They're full of fucking shit. There is no one fucking answer. I am a spectacle. I want to be a spectacle. I want to fucking be like, I'm renting space in these guys' head 24/7. And when they couldn't rent space back, then they started with George. Even before we fought on air and I revealed some shit about us. It's like, that's normal, motherfuckers. But it's just weird. So then they try to pick at other things and they go on about family members and then they're right back to me being fat. It's like, that's all you got? You're obsessed, man. That is definitely the Heidi, that obsessed syndrome, the deranged syndrome, the Heidi deranged syndrome, the HDS. That's why I created that based on the Trump deranged syndrome situation. I was like, yeah, might as well do a Heidi one. And I thought it was funny. Heidi, did you have your hair trimmed? Yeah, it's hot. Yes, it's been cut in half and I did it. I was going to shave it. My hair's been falling out extremely. When I do lay in bed, it's been getting matted on the sides and on the back, and it's just been insanely hot. So I wanted it a little shorter so it dries quicker because I can only sit up for so long. And after I take a shower, it's the rest of my day. I can't barely even move. So it's like my body's a brick or something. Thank you, Victoria. It's Mother's Day too in Australia. Happy Mother's Day. Also, to any other female mom out there, yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody. So, um, Heidi, you're such a bad person, right? The people down to talking about me cussing. How, before this really got kicked off, like in the beginning, after I had revealed everything, the first thing that they said was, oh, well, she's cussing. How is she sick if she's cussing? That can't be. She's cussing. How can she feel this way or act that way when she's a dying person? I'm going to cuss more, man. I'm in pain all the time. I'm tired of the stupidity and I'm just going to express myself. I could be dead tomorrow, and now more than ever, especially after last night, I know I'm fucking getting ready to kick the bucket. Fuck that. I ain't got no fucking couth now. That couth shit's right out the door. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have George create me a song about couth because Heidi ain't got no couth no more because I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck. So it just is. I lived in Texas. My cousin just hit a pothole. Oh man, yeah. The roads in every state are bad. You're in denial. You got a few people and dumbasses that are feeding that America's great. No, it's not. It's overpriced. The opportunities, they've stripped all the extras, and like they stripped all the extras from the freeloaders. Who the fuck and what the fuck? No, there's nothing. There's no universal healthcare system. There's nobody that gives a shit about you. They used to help people. They used to help people around the world. No, it's just become a fucking shit show, man. And I'm sorry, it is not okay what's going on there. I no longer going to say, well, I'm not really against that administration. Fuck that shit. I don't care, Democrat or Republic. And by the way, buckle up and kiss your ass. They're about ready to win again. I'm going to let you know that right now. Without a doubt, this gerrymandering and changing things and all that, they are going to win again. So we're looking at JD Vance probably. And then when JD Vance, something's going to happen to him and Trump's going to be right back in. Maybe. So I'm just speaking a little bit of my mind, but it's for sure coming. I'll tell you right now, they will win. It's weird how the disapproval for what's going on, and then they're going to win again. The only way to win is to do what they're doing. And if they do, it's just going to be even more insane. There's no reason why the same party should win again after all of this. At least let it be an independent or somebody besides Vance. That whole cabinet is corrupt. You guys are in trouble. I feel sorry for anybody that's there. It is up to each individual whether they're supporting, not supporting. Now's not the time to say, okay, well, you're just saying that Obama and Biden and Sleepy Joe, and they go through all that. And it's like, that's not what matters right now. It's the people that matter. You individually should be waking up. And if they win again, which it looks like they are, and they're already setting everything up, and they're slowly, while this stuff's going on about the virus and the war, they're stacking the votes right now. They're stacking how they're going to win, and they are going to. So buckle up, people. I'm glad I'm here. I will deal with the shit here over that, or be dead in another day. Either way. Thanks, Heidi. Getting ready to go to my son and my family. I definitely hope you have a good day. Let's see. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Wow, how do you talk so long about medical stuff? I would be exhausted. Yeah, well, it's not all medical. I've been talking about the trolls too, and why not? I'm going through and answering questions, and because I do. And the more I keep it in the open, I am getting people that support me one way or another. And it's being real. So it may be tiring for some of the regulars. It may be tiring for those that come in and say, oh, she's just ranting. I'm going to move on. It's only about her medical. Well, if you've been watching for years like most have, then people would understand. And it's not always about it. But today was going to be specific because I've been extremely sick for 48 hours. So, of course, with what's going on and the weird troll stuff and emails and they create Messenger and Facebook accounts to come in. Sure, I'm gonna talk about it. And you're gonna say, well, that's what they want. Well, then they just gave me something to talk about. They just added to it. My odd statement was support to Raymond, referencing a troll comment. Oh, Hillbilly Pyro misunderstood. Oh, gotcha. Hey, Wild. I don't know what that was alleging. TV's lying. A year ago I predicted Hormuz, the Strait, hassles by the U.S. Yeah, now look at it. I'm sorry. It's not only affecting America. By the way, your gas will be out at the end of May or June. So he's panicking. That's why he's going to go after Cuba, and that's why he's going to continue to go look for gas other places. But honestly, he's not even getting that for the American people. He is keeping the money. Just insane, guys. There's it's just the insanity level. So war's always already been a business. You guys should know all this. And I'm not even, believe it or not, political. I'm just learning this, but now it's like whoever wasn't political has now become political, and my eyes are like, boom. Check. Never before, never a couple years ago did we ever mention anything politics, nor did I even put two to two together. When Trump and the other war, or not Trump, but when the other wars happened in the 90s, I never paid attention. The only thing I cared about was when the gas changed on me. I didn't pay attention when people said, oh, the President Bush took a bunch of money and his family made millions and Clinton made millions. Yeah, I'm sure they did just as much as Trump, but not billions. Not billions, and not the shit that he's doing. The amount of statues. He's on the fucking passport. Why is he putting his face on everything, guys? The new passports have it. He wants his face on Mount Rushmore. He's putting statues up of himself other places. This ballroom thing. No, guys, wake up. It's insane. Soylent Green. That was it. Yeah. It's going to be like that if this continues. Be like, oh, yeah, it's not going to get. Yeah, I say it actually will be. Yeah, it's 4 or 5 times worse. Right. And it doesn't take us like, oh, fake news. That's how they cover shit. That's a manipulation tactic. The more he says that and the more he says, no, it's not. That's brainwashing. Watch him. He repeats the same words. It's brainwashing. And he keeps repeating to people, this is the hottest. Watch him. It's almost like he's hypnotizing somebody. This is the hottest country on earth. He has said it almost in every press conference. Go watch it. This is the hottest country on earth. He repeats it. Oh, things are better now because I've made it better. So if he keeps saying these things, not only is he believing the stuff, but he's convincing other people when it's right in front of him. But that's what happens in relationships when the men are being beaten and cheated on, the women do to them. It's the same when it happens to the woman and all that stuff. They stay, they listen. It's right in front of them. They see it happen, but they still stay and they don't go nowhere. It's loyalty. So he's because the middle class is 100% disappearing, and there's all kinds of stuff going on, including AI taking over. And we're not just talking about a few jobs. We're talking everything. In another 5 years, you won't even recognize your life. And again, it's all coming, guys. And this is I feel that all of this is just building into that. Look at uh, yeah. Most fertilizers. No, it is. It's 100%. All the different types of gases, the fertilizer. This is going to affect the whole world economically is shutting down because of this being started. It's like they're like, oh well, it's Iran that did this. No, it was all started from the U.S. And I don't understand why there's not more outrage, which there is. Um, it's like, well, it's because of what happened in 40 years ago. He keeps talking about everything from the past. He still hasn't proven to us any of that. There was never any proof like they used to show to people about that they found any of this. It's only an excuse to go over there and do that, guys. But I'm not here to. While USA is busy in Hormuz, China, yep, we'll kick off on Taiwan. Yep, yep. Russia, it was the start of the playbook. Yeah. Modern day US remind me movies like Mad Max. Yeah, that's what's going on now. It's funny if you look at those now, that escape to New York is not far away. He's starting those concentration camps for the homeless. Give it time and he'll take one state, or he'll take Cuba. How do we know that he's not going to try to take over Cuba and put everybody over there? Who knows? But they're warning him on that. That would be a big mistake if he does that one. On top of soil is depleted. Our water usage is a mess. Golf courses, deserts. Yeah, everything is just falling apart over there. And now with the AI, which they're going to push forward, the billionaires are running that. If you look at everything, all the top people of the 500 S&P are these billionaire companies. It's only like five of them that own all the stock. They're manipulating it. Every time Trump says the war's over, like he just said recently, everything changes. And now he's talking about, oh, we're doing this, and that. Oh, guys, it's just crazy. I pay 2,000 for an apartment. Let's see. I pay 2,000 for a small apartment here in Texas. All bills are paid. That's still high. I still couldn't imagine. That's still, you shouldn't have to for a small apartment, and it's just going to go worse. It's going to become worse. I saw Soylent Green as a kid. I just seen it here in the last few months. George kept talking about it. You guys did, and I finally watched. I was like, holy shit. Fred Flintstone's mother and father were brother and sister. Have you seen the artificial heart, and are they at the point where it's medium term? It's a floating magnet in LA. Yeah, I know. The valve would have to be replaced. This LVAC and all these extra things are way more expensive than just opening up, which they still have to be invasive on those. So I have two conditions right now. The stents are just a temporary thing. So, if I can get through all that, even with the shit going on in America, I'll go back. I've said that. I don't want to, but at this moment, being there's like things aren't looking so good, I'm going to stay. I'm not going to risk my life. Now, if I get the stents and I'm better and I can make the trip without being in a pain level 50 and I can breathe, then I'm going. Okay. It's not because my doctor said I could go. It's because I know for a fact I can't go. But yeah, I'll go back. Whatever the US is doing under the insurance, even if, like I said, even if I'm living in prison, it's, you know, it's where it is. Come to Canada, we have everything. Yeah, that's cool with the insurance and everything else. Yeah, the artificial heart designed to be durable. Yeah, there's all kinds of them. So, hey, what's going on? Also, prediction Trump No, that will happen. That's the only way he's going to get in. The only other possibility is being in war, and there was something else. I forgot. They said there's one other reason why they can delay the up and coming midterms. He's going to do that part of it too. But it looks like they're gerrymandering, and they're all going to get it. He's going to win anyways. But he will come in as vice president. I'm sure of that. And then what will happen is he's going to pay JD Vance to step down, or so figure which one, and he will, because those guys are sure he's getting back in, and they said he will get back in. So this is kind of like some scary cult, um, hooded guy situation, good old white boy network shit going on. And I'm a cracker as next as the next cracker, but this is all bullshit, man. I'm crackered as good as crackered. And, I have a good laugh at racial jokes and all this shit here. I'm like a George Carlin fan, but god damn, this shit is obvious, man. You might as well get 3 jars of Vaseline and bend the fuck over. You're about as fucked as I am right now. So, Fred Flintstone, go fuck yourself. You in that same goddamn pot, bitch. All right, I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. Oh, Winston Lorde, go fuck yourself. You're an idiot. Talking about if you were blabbering and blah, blah, blah. You're a blabbering idiot. You probably him, you fucking idiot. You should pay attention to your health instead of politics. Go fuck yourself. You're an idiot. You really are. That shows your IQ level. Stupidity. Can you spell that? Probably not. And Laura, because you block them, I can still see them. They know that. That's why I put the link to the what's it called there, because they click on it to make people think I'm getting money, or they think it's a major distraction. But their biggest plan is so they think I'm getting money, so they could say, "Oh, she made a bunch of money in the last live stream. We could see it." But the whole point is I can still see them, and I don't mind addressing them because I don't mind cussing, and I don't mind saying, "Go fuck yourself." So, yeah, I don't know. Someone said hello, CP. So, that's not true. Trump is cleaning up the mess Obama created. So, what about all the other bullshit he's doing? He's cleaning that up too? It's not true. They're all excuses. If you all accept what's actually going on, you're a fucking idiot at this point. I don't care if you ever fucking watch again or not. Bull fucking shit. If I'm still fucking alive when this is over, they're all going to be in jail. That is the truth. Right? That's all it's about. So there's enough out there now. But these guys don't want to open their eyes to what's going on. Trump has cases and cases and cases against him. All the crap and the racial shit he did in New York beforehand. All the shit that he's done and he's currently doing in front of everybody. You still want to bring in Obama and sleep. What do you got to say about him falling asleep all the time? You guys always have an excuse, the same as you go at me. You always repeat the same stuff. You're like, it's weird. He actually is still calling him Sleepy Biden and still showing him, and he always is asleep during his meetings and on camera. You can see he can barely walk. You can see that he's sick. He's exactly what the last president was. I'm not saying I approved of any of those other presidents. It's the disapproval of the bullshit and tearing up the White House and fucking saying people gave them the money for it. Now they're going to take it from the tax people. Your asses, your dumb asses are still paying for the fucking tariffs. It's just now that he's on to the war, you all forgot about that shit. So you're paying for that. Your groceries are doubling. Your gas is getting ready to double, if not already. They're taking away your health benefits. There's got to be a family member that was not getting something free. They were paying for it. That went up to $800-900 a month. You guys are just fucking idiots if you're falling for that. Exactly it. All of it is there. And the moment they're like, it's fake news, it's not real, never happened. I'm making America great again. It reminds me of like an old hillbilly out in the country running for mayor that would say that. I'm going to make things great and put an extra chicken on your table at dinner time. Like, oh, okay. Or they buy him something and that'd be the end of it. So you believe it. It's currently about what is right. There were plenty of Republicans that did right. I no longer like Trump as a man. That was it. The last few things and his narcissism and the statues and his name on the past things are never done. You tell me the reason why he should be on somebody's passport. It's all bullshit. I want to be remembered in history. No, he doesn't want people to forget. No, good or bad, he doesn't want to be forgotten. He is statement already made that he wants to be the next Mr. H from Germany. That's what he wants. It's insane. Yeah, it's a dictatorship. In the beginning, I could barely put together what a dictator was. I'd never paid attention to North Korea or paid attention to this whole Russian thing. And I'm like, well, always talking about dictators, but again, not really into politics. And now it just hit me. I was like, shit, the gold statues and the passport. And they already put a bill in for him to be on the Mount Rushmore and remove the other people. Him saying he's beautifying the Capitol, like that pond and shit. Like the guy said, that area was pristine to begin with. I mean, not that the rest of America's not falling apart, but he just said just the other day how it was nasty. It was horrible, the Kennedy Center. It was just dirty and falling apart before I helped it. That's bull motherfucking shit. And so is your asshole, but nobody repaired that shit. The fuck? It's just where it is. Truths. And they'll be, oh, Heidi talk about politics. Heidi went too far talking about this person. I'll even get a glare at George when he wakes up. I'll get the actual glare. Fuck that shit. You might not even know. I'm not. Right now, I am not even well enough for stints. So why don't they put that in their pipe and smoke it? Heidi's collecting money and she may not even be able to get it. Yeah, if anything, I'm using it for funeral, fucking donuts and pizza until the motherfucking day happens, motherfuckers. Think about it. I already said from the beginning, my lupus and my body being swollen, I cannot have it done till I sit in the hospital for 10 days. Then I've been seeing the specialist more often, aka the lung doctor and the lupus, put on another medication, and the inflammation was coming down. Not anymore. It's not. It's back already, which means my heart is worsening. They cannot do stents in my stage. So technically, if I go this morning, I have to sit there for 10 days. I could be dead in 10 days. So no stents until then. And even if I get my stents with the lupus, there's a good chance, yes, being fat might be a problem at this point. But the open heart surgery would not happen. But my valve is not totally out and blocking. The blockage is coming from a widowmaker or just being blocked. So that's what's going on with my heart now. I need that other part fixed later, but it's not what's killing me right now. But yes, and he said I may not even make it through the freaking stents, man. And they may not be able to do the stents. Before I lost my home state of Texas, a house was going for $2,000 a month. No way Trump stays in office after the 28th. Well, let's hope. This has happened where other presidents have gotten over and gotten in based on corruption. And at this rate, with the things he's setting up in this war, he's going to avoid that. And then it's going to avoid them from being thrown out. And you realize that if that does happen, there's 99% he ends up in jail along with the other people. Steve Bannon already said that. Your little dog leader, for those that believe in all that, has already said they're all going to jail. And he meant that. And he's not a dumb man. He knows that everybody in that cabinet will be held accountable down to the war crimes. And I'm sorry. He did order that stuff that destroyed that school with the girls. The world knows that. So if a few Americans that are backers of him say, nope, that never happened, they deserve that, then you guys are just that type of person. I'm sorry, you're not human if you didn't see some 40, 50 years ago, they've got this, and that, and they were just bad people. That's 40, 50 years ago. People just need to grow up, man. I do not want to see them. I want my own little delusional world of happy campers, right? TDS, right? Right. Okay, maybe. So if you're saying TDS, Trump deranged syndrome much, that's probably you. Again, you're one of there you guys go. Say hello to Michael. He even falls asleep standing up. Yeah. Stop the politics. Well, they discuss it. I'm not going to go full into the files. He says, yeah, who cares? Why didn't Biden release them? They went through and talked about that. They should have. So they should have, but it's coming out now. So, and so should have Obama. They went through and said why they got delayed and all that. It's because of the whole backing of who really runs the country. But when you're involved, and that's all we can say, enough stuff on the internet to see who's guilty or not. Just reading through here. He's on the passports. He's now on national park passes. Yeah. His autograph is going to be on the money and paper bills. Yeah. They're authorizing a dollar coin from, yeah. And it's not the only thing. Thank you. And thank God we have Trump keeping the healthcare cost in line. I don't know for who. And we will end it on that note, guys. I appreciate you coming in. I am 3 hours in of just puff, 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 and talking. That way you can say it was 3 hours today. Say goodbye to Beignet and my bucket of flowers, and I'm just going to lay around in bed all day. So going to say goodbye. Enjoy the live stream and rewatch because a lot of you be like, well, why is she saying that? Some of it started from the beginning. So happy Mother's Day. And yeah, it's close to waking him up. He's still asleep. So, all right, guys, take care. And again, happy Mother's Day. I don't know, Timmy, somehow, please say who really runs the show. Which show? Oh, you want me to say who's running America? Yeah, we know. You just want me to say it's not the presidents. It hasn't been him for a long time. Yeah, none of them. Republican, Democrat, they're also playing the Senate. Both sides of the Senate are corrupt. So this is all about money and more power to them. I guess I wish I had some of that Senate money right now. So I get it. I get why they're doing it for sure.